because it's
First off, it's also not an ACC hat. It's an ACC network hat, which is ESPN. So it's not Clemson.
The ACC network is the Clemson network. Yes, they are.
Let's see what's on the ACC network right now. Watch it be something at Clemson. I'm going to be furious if it is.
Now, I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Andrews has to take that hat off. So not ESPN.
Hi, Lonzo.
How y'all doing?
How's your day?
I'm doing all right. I got out and mucked the stalls and went out and checked out on the cows and it's all good.
You look good. It's a good look. It's a good look. And Tim Holcomb came in and redecorated the office for us this morning and everything. Ladies and gentlemen. The lady friend who has popped into the stream just said, "Oh no, Lonzo!"
She gets it. She gets it. Don't worry, Courtney. Eventually, he's going to have to pay somehow. It won't be like this.
Trey said, "Orange never looked so good." If you missed yesterday, if you're not on the stream right now, by the way, we are already we have been streaming for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and we are already at a dozen viewers. We never hit 12 until the second or third segment of the show. We're hitting on 10, 12 already. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not...
And look, there they go. They're just leaving, which they should. Just leave. Just don't. No. Don't come back.
There's more.
Leave. You don't want to see this. Nothing. Please disperse. Nothing to see here.
Lonzo doing his best impression of a safety cone today. Lonzo, ladies and gentlemen, by way of taking the 5-6 Boo Box Bets L in week number 1, had to draw out of the Boo Box, and he selected for punishment number 1 that he had to dress in Clemson orange.
All right. Let's clarify here. I didn't select it. I put my hand in the box, and that's what came out. It isn't like I went through and went, okay, yeah, I'll select this. No, this is what I picked. Unfortunately, it was a blind pick. It was a pick inside of a box. You don't know what's in there, and this is what I got. And I have to suffer. And not only do I have to suffer, but I've got people down the hall coming and helping out with the suffering.
So let me tell y'all what happened.
And even though Tim helped me out with the shirt, he should know from years of working with me that he will pay somehow for the flag. He will pay somehow.
So Tim Holcomb, who has provided the, as it's been described so far, safety cone orange outfit of one Lorenzo Wrightsell, and he is in full Lorenzo mode today.
I'm really thinking about being in full Lorenzo mode.
I believe it. He texted me 2 days ago with a picture of this flag that is now on the wall behind Lonzo. It is, you know how there's a bunch of people, and this is for every team, not just Clemson, but there's a bunch of flag code violations out there that are the American flag redone in team colors. There is an American flag behind Lonzo where the stripes are orange and purple. The field of stars is orange. The stars are white with a tiger paw over the top of it. Tim goes, is it too much to throw this up on the wall behind Lonzo the day that he has to dress in Clemson orange? And I said, he's in control of your schedule, not me. Do what you want, big fella. I am not going to stop you or help you.
By the way, as far as being a vindictive boss, I'm not, but I am a vindictive friend. So if there is vengeance, it will not be, because that would be frowned upon by management if you were to use your power to cause, some sort of discomfort to someone.
Now,
so I would never do such a thing.
Let's talk for just a minute, kids, about something that Lorenzo has done, and I'm going to let the listening audience decide the conclusion to this debate. All right? The bet.
Unless you disagree with Rob, in which case he'll say you're all wrong.
I mean, I will, but I can't.
Yeah,
I mean, if I get outvoted, I get outvoted. I believe, scratch that. I know that the punishment was to wear a Clemson shirt and hat.
Which I did.
Over the course of the day at work.
Which I did. I'm doing that right now.
Lorenzo showed up today wearing an ACC Network gray hat with black bill.
This hat says Clemson across it. It absolutely does. Without a doubt.
No, it says ACCN.
No, which is the Clemson Network.
I don't have my glasses on.
And the ACC is Clemson.
Conference?
If you go, it is. If you go across America, let's say we go to North Dakota and ask who's in the ACC, they'll say Clemson, and you'll say who else? They won't know. Let's say we go down. Let's go like.
You don't think they're going to know FSU?
Let's go. No, not anymore. Let's go down to Southwest. Let's go to Arizona. Let's go to Arizona and ask the people in Arizona who's in the ACC. Clemson. Who else? They won't know. Let's go up to the northeast. Let's go up to Washington. Hey. Who's in the ACC? Clemson. Who else? They won't know. Let's go to Tennessee. Who's in the ACC? Clemson. Anybody else? I don't know.
Okay. You're not getting away with that argument in SEC country. The SEC knows the ACC.
Oh, yeah. I am getting away with that. Because here's the thing. SEC doesn't fear any team in the ACC.
Second off,
the only team that could possibly beat in SEC.
You said they don't know who they are.
They don't know who else is in the ACC.
Incorrect.
I got to say, I'm on a sports station. I have no idea who half the teams on the ACC are because they're the ACC. I mean, why do I need to know teams that never will have a chance to do anything? Ever.
Second.
In the history of mankind. Ever.
Nobody's won titles in the ACC except Clemson.
All right, we're talking going forward.
You just said in the history of mankind.
We're talking going forward.
Backwards. History's that way. Metaphorically.
Wait, Courtney, is NC State in the ACC?
They are.
They are?
So there you go. There's an SEC fan.
Yeah. By the
way,
Courtney put a question mark after that. You know what that means? That means she's not sure. That's what that means.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, is it now? I am not going to say that Lonzo welched on the bet.
You know what? I'm not going to go purchase a hat. Hats cost more than t-shirts.
They really do.
And here's the thing: people don't want to lend a hat. You can.
No, I don't lend hats.
Yeah,
that's true.
You can wash a shirt, but you can't wash a hat. Once someone wears a hat, that's theirs. You don't want that hat back. I own this hat because it was given to me when I went to the ACC Media Days. And to me, this is just as bad wearing this hat as it is wearing the shirt, and this hat says Clemson.
No, it doesn't. It says ACC
it says
Network.
It says Clemson.
But I am going to let Lonzo off the hook for not wearing a Clemson hat because his boy Tim Holcomb came and hung that big-ass Clemson flag on the wall behind him. A. And B, because that 30 minutes that Lonzo just took to try to direct us as to why that hat is a Clemson hat genuinely sounded like a Clemson fan arguing that everybody else in the conference ain't on their level right now, so he has leaned in to being a Tiger fan this morning. I like it.
You caught me.
I like it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not tuned into the stream yet, what are you doing?
Them Tigers.
Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate.
Go Tigers.
Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate.
CLEMS.
You can go to Twitter.com/.
What's the next letter? Is that a P or a Z? I don't remember. Oh, let me look at the drunk guy next to me. He doesn't know either.
Or you can go to YouTube and search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. Come see Lonzo pay off his Boo Box Bets punishment week number 1 in his orange Clemson jersey with the
Clemson
orange
hat.
and purple Clemson flag hanging on the wall and his gray and black ACC Network hat.
Clemson Network.
It's not, though.
It is.
I just looked up the schedule. They're playing a Miami football game right now.
Which no one will watch.
Miami's back, baby.
We'll see.
Oh, you know who's calling in later today? Zach Brown is calling in later today. Because Zach's a big Miami dude. And they've got a showdown coming up with the Texas A&M
you know what?
Aggies.
I may not take his call.
What is with you against dudes who used to work here?
Oh, I love Zach. He's great. He's very good at cooking. He's good at cookouts.
He's very good at cooking.
Remember? He's the one
that's right.
He's a cookout.
He killed the burgers
He did.
down a couple weeks ago.
He did.
Texas A&M Miami next week. We're going to talk about that. Actually, is it next Friday or this Friday? It's got to be next Friday. Yeah, the game's next weekend. Miami at Texas A&M. I told him like 8 months ago we would put a bet on that game because at the time I was pretty sure A&M was going to wipe the floor with the Canes. Now I'm not so sure. We'll talk about that. Here's what we got on the show for you today. Number one, Lonzo in Clemson gear. Go watch the stream. It's pretty spectacular.
Don't watch the stream.
And you're welcome to take screen caps throughout the day as you wish.
That will come back to haunt you.
I'm going to be taking a punishment at some point this season.
That will
Yeah,
come
I'm
back.
sure
That
it
will come
will.
back to haunt. See, that's that. See,
You think people didn't think screen grab?
no. These are Clemson fans. Of course, they didn't think about that. So you just told them what to do, and they're like, "That's a great idea. I think I'll do that. I'm gonna share it with all my friends. Clemson Joe, Clemson Bob, Clemson Buddy, Clemson JoJo.
Tiger Andy, Tiger John,
There we
Tiger
go.
Bill.
My whole family."
My question's going to be,
Hey, no one said that I couldn't crack on Clemson while wearing Clemson colors because it's even more awesome doing it this way. You know why? Because did you hear what that Clemson fan said about the Clemson team? Go ahead, share it. Share it. Quote me while you're doing it. If that's what Rob wants.
Rob doesn't want. Rob got what Rob wants.
Hey, I lost, but what you get is Clemson for a day. Can you handle Clemson for a day? Because I'm not so sure you can.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. It don't bother me. I handle Clemson every day. I'm a broadcaster
No,
in the upstate.
No, you don't. No, you don't really. You don't really.
All right, here's what we got coming up on today's show. First off, go to the stream. Lonzo's in Clemson gear. Second off, coming up at 10 a.m., we're going to be joined by Chris Lewis, the president of the Greenville Triumph. The Triumph giving away a draw in heartbreaking fashion last week. This week, they are on the road. They're up in Charlotte taking on the Independents. And with only a couple of games left to go in this one, we are at a point. We're at a point where everything matters for the Triumph as they try to make their way into a fourth consecutive USL League One championship. We'll talk with the president of the Greenville Triumph, Chris Lewis, coming up at 10 o'clock. Then at 10:30 a.m., we will be joined by the boys from the Movin' the Chains podcast. That, of course, would be Kevin Thomas and John Epps.
They're gonna have to do it by phone.
No, they're super excited about seeing you.
No. Kevin is not allowed in the studio
Since when? He works here.
because I've declared it.
Well, you should have told him that yesterday.
Yeah,
before
well,
he made
that's a
plans to
shame.
be here.
I will text him and let him know he has to be on phone because he's not allowed in the studio.
He's going to be so excited to see you, though.
Yeah, that's why he's not allowed in the
He's going
studio.
to be so excited.
No.
So excited to see you.
This is my house. He is not invited.
Whose house? Zoe's house? I don't know. And John's a big Clemson guy, too. They're both going to be excited to see you, buddy. You know, give the people what they want, Lonzo. They want to see Lorenzo
You don't
in all his glory.
Do they?
They want to bask in his glory.
You don't need me during that segment, so I'll be down the hall.
Lonzo is just going to put the station on autopilot and leave.
You're right, Zach. Absolutely. I agree with you.
I like it. This is great stuff.
You're not going to repeat it, and you probably shouldn't. But
No, probably shouldn't.
probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't. All right, 10 o'clock, Chris Lewis. 10:30, Move the Chains. 11 o'clock.
Guarantee you, I will be not giving any oil checks.
11 o'clock. It is time for yet another rendition of Boo Box Bets. Yes, indeed. Lonzo eats his punishment today, currently rocking the Clemson orange and purple. And coming up at 11 a.m., it is time to go on the record with our week 2 picks. And we're going to get those for you coming up at 11 a.m. We will see who it is that next week will be taking the punishment and if it will be as bad as what Lonzo is experiencing right now.
I will point this out because I'm a better person. I'm not going to do the things to Rob that he's doing to me. I'm going to be.
What am I doing?
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be cordial.
What am I doing?
I'm going to be caring and understanding because that's just my nature. I might even go over and offer a hug to him as he suffers to his punishment.
Okay, that's a lie.
I am not going to.
That's a lie.
I'm not.
Lonzo just lying to the people now.
I'm not going to look across and see the friend that I share office space with, the friend that that I go out and do fun things with. I'm not going to look across and see his pain and go, you know what? I'm just going to add to it. I would never do that.
How am I adding to it? I just said I want people to come watch the stream, which I say every day of the show.
Listen, defriend us right now. Just for 2 hours and 44 minutes. Just defriend us, and then you can come back in 2 hours and 44 minutes.
Skrilla said, I may have to check out periodically because of the fact that I'm going to start having epileptic seizures from so much orange. Spelled with a U out front.
Wow.
Orange.
Because I looked at that. I wasn't sure how to say it, but you nailed it. Okay.
Purple and orange.
Orange.
Yeah, man. I like it. Trey says that not wearing a Clemson hat but having the flags up is a fair trade. That's why I'm good with it.
So you're saying
Timmy H
are you
rocked the
saying
flag.
I can take the Clemson hat off?
If you want to.
So
I'm fine with that.
So you know what he just admitted? That it's a Clemson hat.
It's not a Clemson hat. It's an ACC network hat.
I said, can I take the Clemson hat off? And you said, if you want.
Because I'm not. If I said it's not a Clemson hat, you were just gonna go. Yes, it is.
I won.
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 Yes, it is. Take a break.
See, he makes fun of my voice. I can make fun of his voice.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do.
Go
I'll
ahead.
lose my voice if I yell. I'm not going to do that. I got other stuff to do this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I told you that the Buffalo Bills are going to be a damn good football team. And some people went, nuh-uh, Rob, that's Vegas getting in your head. Well, last night, they went into the coronation party, the celebration of the NFL's reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions, and they kicked the crap out of the Rams. Beat the hell out of the Rams. So when we come back, I will let those of you that doubted my take about Buffalo, I will let you have your say. Phone lines open, 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line at 71307. And come see Lonzo wearing a bunch of orange on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or on YouTube by searching and subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. Back after this on The Rob Brown Show and The Fan Upstate. Be right back, stream. Don't go anywhere. look good in orange, buddy.
I'm not participating. Taking this off the stream, Susie leaves. We are, Ben. We definitely are, unless something major emergency-wise happens. The thing's happening tomorrow night. We are putting in some more plans as far as food and other stuff to make sure we're good tomorrow night. So, unless I spontaneously combust from wearing orange, we're probably good. This is suffering, by the way. Yeah, Rob was on the show, it was like a month ago, and brought in some of those Japanese Kit Kats. They're different flavors. They really are really good. We got to sample quite a few of them. Perks of having a sponsor, I suppose. They were good, though. I don't want to put that bad mojo on pumpkins, Josh, because I like pumpkins. Pumpkins are awesome. Thank you, Darth. I appreciate that. No, really, I do. The problem is, Rob is, was on a professional betting show. I mean, had a betting show. That makes him a pro bettor going up against an amateur like me. So, of course, I won the lantern. Yeah, that works. I agree. Wow, look at how many people are tuning in right now. Oh, and then they're gone. Thank you.
They just needed to see it for a second.
Yeah.
It's spiked.
Counting down the time. 2 hours and 37 minutes to go. 36.
Are you just leaving right after work?
I think we both know that this is the torture. No one talks to me outside of this room. I'm good.
$10 Chris Lewis, president of the Greenville Triumph, gonna join us. 10:30, the boys from Moving the Chains gonna join us, talk a little local high school foosball. And then at 11 o'clock, Lonzo and I go on the record and make our bets for the day. Y'all, I done tried to tell y'all the Buffalo Bills are gonna be good. I tried to tell you Josh Allen has it. And last night, Josh Allen put it on display, opened the game 10 for 10 for like a lot of yards.
Wow, you're Chris Collinsworth today. Cool. Way to go, Chris Collinsworth.
Did anything Chris Collinsworth say about Josh Allen last night?
Yeah.
Was any of it wrong?
Yes, it was.
What?
Chris Collinsworth. Josh Allen is perfect.
He was 10 of 10.
No. He's perfect, except for that interception, and it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
Whatever. So no interceptions are ever the quarterback's fault. Here's what I heard last night. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. You know Josh Allen. Did you know Josh Allen? Josh Allen. So the national media picks their guy. This was their guy last year. It's their guy this year. And they will say his name probably 10,000 times before this season is over. The reason why they won last night was, Josh Allen helped. They won because their defense is awesome. The running game is really good, and Josh Allen is okay. But the fact that we say Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen makes me never want to watch anything. I bet the home broadcast of the Buffalo Bills didn't say Josh Allen's name as much as Collinsworth and Tirico did. I guarantee you they didn't, because they understand it's a team effort, not just Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. Oh, yeah, the linebacker who came over from the Rams, and I've already forgot his name because Josh Allen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen. If you have purchased your lunch for the day, feel free to bring it by the studio because Lonzo's got plenty of salt to go around for everybody. Plenty of salt to go around. Josh Allen. Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
How many interceptions did he throw last night?
He threw one interception last night.
No, I think he threw two.
There's two on the stat sheet.
Right.
But he threw
Thank
one.
you, Collinsworth.
But he
Thank
threw
you.
one.
Thank you, Collinsworth, for ignoring, or Tirico, whichever one you want to be. Those are our national names, and they decided to. And I've seen a lot of things where people were saying, okay, people blamed this quarterback for this, but I guess it wasn't his fault. So we need to go through to every quarterback and go, okay, this wasn't his fault. This wasn't his fault. The stat lines are about to change today. Thank you, Josh Allen.
For the record, I have many times on this show and previous iterations of it in other markets, many times said that there should be 2 interception categories for quarterbacks. There should be 2. One of them should be interceptions, and one of them should be, as Collinsworth called it last night, NHFs, not his faults. There should be INT and NHFs, not his fault.
Ridiculous.
See,
stats don't lie, apparently. That's what I've been told. So in the stat line, he threw 2 interceptions. So he didn't have a great night. Is he going to have a good season if he averages 2 interceptions? If he averages 2 interceptions per game, are they going to be talking about the interceptions? No, because he's Josh Allen, and they've chosen him this year to be the guy. Like they chose him last year, and if they just won the coin toss, shut up.
What this comes down to, folks, is that Patrick Mahomes had a lot
If Josh
of
Allen were a
against
drinking game, there would be a lot of people hungover today.
Josh Allen was spectacular last night. He was spectacular.
Except for those 2 interceptions, which makes you not spectacular.
Except for that one interception. Because if the other one, the NFH, was a COMP, Josh Allen is at least 27 of 31 and about 315 instead of 26 of 31 and 297, and he's sitting at probably 4 TDs and 1 pick instead of 3 and 2.
You know, and if Marshawn Lynch would have got to run the ball, the Seattle would have won the touchdown, and would have won the Super Bowl. And
Brady would have only had 6.
Yeah, and if, but that's not how the game is played. There are. You know what? I think journalistic integrity was lost last night because you can't say someone's perfect and then go, oh yeah, but that interception doesn't count. That makes you look like what you are, Josh Allen fan.
Josh Allen was perfect last night.
No, he was
11
not.
Passes.
He
absolutely was.
Wow. You know what? Every quarterback's perfect till they're not. Did you know that?
Josh Allen threw a ball into the wide receiver's gut that he caught and then just got rid of. Josh Allen did nothing wrong in that play. He threw the perfect ball. The perfect ball. Should have been caught, should have been brought down. The perfect football. Only a Bill caught that ball, until he dropped it. The wide receiver blew it, not Josh Allen.
By the way, real quick to address what Zach says, Lonzo just dad side. I've already done that 33 times today. No. That's the sigh of someone wearing orange and realizing, my God, I'm wearing orange. I mean, that's the sigh of, why can't I root for a team that has a good color?
Texter says, Josh Allen with a stiff arm we not talking about. O-M bleeping G. Josh Allen was a monster.
Josh Allen was the only one on the field last night. He was. Josh Allen threw the ball to Josh Allen. Josh Allen caught the ball, ran in for a touchdown, did a touchdown dance. Josh Allen blocked for Josh Allen because of Josh Allen.
I can't with you. Lorenzo Reitzel, ladies and gentlemen. Texas says, Josh Allen is just okay. Lonzo doesn't even try to hide his saltiness. What an absolute bum.
I am, you're right, I am a bum. Absolutely. I'm dressed like one. I'm acting like one. I am an amalgam of 25 years of a certain school's fandom and how they act and how they talk. That's me for the rest of the day. So you probably don't want to be around me like I don't want to be around Clemson fans. I am taking my punishment, but I'm making other people pay too. That's just how it works.
Look at that Josh Allen stiff arm. That is perfectly executed.
You didn't say Josh Allen enough times.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. Josh Allen was spectacular last night.
Roger wants to know, Lonzo, who is this Josh Allen person? Josh Allen is the new savior of the NFL, according to Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico, and possibly Rob Brown.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. So,
I apologize for derailing because I'm not. I mean, we're talking about the subject. I can just go back and lean next to my flag and think orange thoughts.
I came in here with a bunch of stuff to get into. It opened with Josh Allen. Then it went to Matthew Stafford. And now Stafford's going to take a lot of heat for his performance last night. He went 29 of 41 for 240, 1 touch, 3 picks. 2 of those were INTs. 1 of those was an NFH. I'll get that down. 1 of those was an NFH. It was play calling, and it was where the hell was Cam Akers last night? 3 rushing attempts, 0 yards, 52 yards rushing for the Rams last night. The defending Super Bowl champs, 52 yards rushing, and Cam Akers had 3 touches for 0. Matt Stafford outrushed Cam Akers last night.
Well, you could look at on the other side, Josh Allen outrushed everybody on his team too. But as far as the quarterback for the Rams, I think his elbows hurt a little bit more than what he's saying.
You might not be wrong.
Yeah, because he didn't look like what he looked like last year.
The story broke like an hour before game time, maybe a little earlier, that during the offseason, Matt Stafford had to have surgery on his elbow. It was described as more of a comfort thing, like there was a mild irritation to it. It was more of a comfort thing. And then he had to go through a rehab process that was designed for baseball players who had elbow problems. But after the surgery, his doctor said no throwing for like 10 to 12 weeks. So there was 10 to 12 weeks of the offseason where Matt Stafford couldn't throw a football, and there were parts of the game last night that he looked like it.
You know, something else to point out, and they pointed this out a little bit in between all the Josh Allen talk, was the fact that, Josh Allen, that the Rams didn't play 2/3 of their guys during preseason games. And I know they're practicing and everything, but there's a difference between, hitting someone in practice and hitting someone in a game. And I think that you could see that some of those guys were a little tentative at the beginning of the game. And they were making some mistakes that they wouldn't have made if they actually got to play a little bit in the preseason. I think you can protect to a point, but it becomes a detriment after a while because you've got to get used to that playing speed, that hitting speed, all that kind of stuff. And near the end of the game, they were starting to get there, but it's too late.
I could not agree with you more for the first time today. I could not agree with you more. I think that Sean McVay took a calculated risk by not playing 66% of his dudes in the preseason. Because the Rams came out last night and looked rusty. Looked like they just were not ready. The Bills, on the other hand, last night, especially Josh Allen, executed well out of the gate.
They did. They looked, except for those interceptions that you act like didn't happen. They looked really good. The other thing, you think I'll get in trouble if I just put Josh Allen all over the taglines for the Odyssey stream?
No, just label every chapter Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was really considering that just to see if corporate would notice.
Just label every pod we drop today, all 3 hours, all of our highlights, all of our clips. Just label them all Josh Allen.
If it only stayed in house, I would do that. But I know that those above us who make the real money and not in this building would notice, and I would get our boss in trouble, and I don't want to do that because that sends the filter down. That's how that works.
Josh Allen,
exactly.
I mean, why not? Josh Allen was spectacular last night.
Except for the 2 interceptions.
Except for the 1 interception. And honestly, even the second interception was a contested ball, right? It wasn't like he just hit the DB in the hands. He hit both guys right in the hands. It was he throws that ball a second earlier. Josh Allen's got 1 NFH on his record and 0 picks this year.
You ever been in the middle of something, a conversation, and you're hoping something's a work because if it isn't, you really feel bad that someone thinks a certain way?
This is not a work. Josh Allen's that good. I tried to tell you that yesterday, and you jumped on me yesterday. I was like, yo, Bills are covering tonight. Bills are covering.
I was just preparing for the barrage of Josh Allens that we were going to get, and we did. And to the point where I think the only time I watch another game that Josh Allen is in will be if he plays one of the teams that I root for. And then I'll probably watch it with the sound down.
Josh Allen.
Butt kissing to the degree that I've never seen about any other player ever in the history of my history. I've never seen. You know what? You know who Josh Allen is? You know who Josh Allen is? He's Dan Marino. If Dan Marino would have had social media, that's who. And you know what Dan Marino did? He's revered and all kinds of things. He did nothing. Okay, that's what Josh Allen is going to do. Nothing. He's going to make it near the pinnacle, and he's going to lose again. And all the Josh Allen fans are going to go, yeah, but they lost a coin toss. Yeah, but that interception didn't really count, except for it cost them the game. Yeah, okay, whatever.
First off, October 16th, Bills at Chiefs. October 16th, we get the rematch.
The cool part about it is I can actually find the radio broadcast from the Chiefs and listen to that while watching the game, so I can hear Josh Allen's name only mentioned a couple times as opposed to 35,000 times.
You know what's funny? I knew this was going to be a conversation today, and I knew it at one point in the ball game because I want to say it was third quarter, around the mid-third quarter.
Or the fact that I tweeted about it last night.
I was not on Twitter last night.
I was
not on Twitter during the game. I was watching the game, and Josh Allen had a moment where he had like 2 or 3 consecutive completions, and then he came out and off the next snap, ran out to the left, turned back, threw across his body, completed a pass to a wide open receiver across the middle, and Collinsworth set a line that as soon as he said it, I'm like, uh-oh, that's going to be a conversation tomorrow. He said, and I quote, I feel like I'm watching a young Tom Brady running around out there because of how much he has mastered the game, end quote. And I was like, uh-oh, now we're about to start hearing all of the saltiness come out from everybody who is a fan of Brady, Mahomes, and Rodgers. Fans of those 3 guys are going to be talking about this tomorrow as if it is the end of the National Football League. And hashtag nailed it. Joe from Boiling Springs just texted in and said, wait, Lonzo, didn't Mahomes get the same attention? Hell yes, he did. Yes, every
All right,
time
here's
Patty
the
Mahomes
difference.
throws a sideways, no-look, underhand,
Here's the
behind
difference.
the back trick shot, it's talked about on SportsCenter for 9 months.
Here's the difference. Patrick Mahomes has won a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has won nothing. Okay, so all the building up of Patrick Mahomes culminated with winning the entire thing. Josh Allen has not. Not going to do it this year either. He's going to be one of those guys that was this close, and everybody wants him to win, and then he doesn't, and they blame everything else around him and never him. 2 interceptions.
Josh Allen.
I said that whole thing and didn't say Josh Allen at least 5 times. I'm sorry.
So I got to say it 9 to make up for that. Josh Allen, 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 Josh Allen last night. Josh Allen took over a very bad Buffalo Bills team in 2018.
And single-handedly resurrected the team, put him on his back, and made them relevant. No, he didn't. He's a pretty good quarterback on an awesome defense by a really good coach who came from a really good team.
A pretty good quarterback who went 4,400 yards, 36 TDs last year.
How many interceptions did he have last year?
15.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there were about 7 NFHs.
Yeah,
in
of
there.
course.
And in 2020, went 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions with a 107 career. Lonzo, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Does that mean he deserves more attention than Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen?
Yeah, because he's a winner. Josh Allen is not.
Why are you so salty about this?
Because I'm wearing orange, for one thing, but this started yesterday because you can see the national media when they decide this is our guy or this is a guy we don't like. Every show
I'm not
copies.
national media.
Every show, not yet. Every show copies. Every show goes, well, they're talking about this, so I got to talk about this. So and then it escalates to a point where there's a cacophony of Josh Allen's throughout the sky and the universe in every room. Yes, I have a bigger vocabulary than I use because I'm with a haughty intellectual who will look at me and go,
Cacophony.
Wow. There's something about being angry that makes me think clearer. What can I say? And I'm going to be mad all day because I'm wearing orange. And do not tune in to the stream to see it.
Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate. YouTube.com/The Rob Brown Show. Like and subscribe to that. James said I can taste the saltiness from easily.
That's not why I'm laughing.
Oh, I know. Keegan said, that ain't a Clemson word, brother. All right. We got to take a break and play a cacophony of commercials for you here. Come back. We will wrap up. Lonzo is so mad today. Bills open the NFL season by going 1-0. 31-10 winners over the defending Super Bowl champions in they house. Come back, break that down for the last couple of minutes, and then at 10 o'clock, Chris Lewis, president of the Triumph, at 10:30. The boys from the Moving the Chains podcast at 11 o'clock. We make our Boo Box Bets picks and put ourselves on the line for week 2. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. Oh, Turner says Lonzo's salty because he knows his team is threatened. By Josh Allen.
Yeah. Were they threatened last year? No.
Yes!
No, they
Yes!
weren't. No.
Are
See,
you kidding me?
There's a W and there's an L, Rob. W stands for winner. Win.
Threatened very much.
No, they were not threatened. All right, I need to calm down so I don't, have some sort of medical emergency. How dare you make me laugh out loud on the radio, Keegan? I don't do that. You're right, Roger. It will get better. You know when it'll get better? When I get off work and take this stuff off. That's when it'll get better. And I really need to go to the restroom, but I don't want to be seen in the hallway in this stuff. But you know what? I got time. I'll just move really fast.
Everybody come look at Lonzo! Oh, NHF. Yeah, you're right, Keegan. I blew my own made-up stat, man. I blew my own made-up stat. Josh, what's my name? Josh Allen! I love it. What's up, everybody on the stream? Those of you that are new, and I know there's some new folks in here because we got 18 people who have come by, which, you know, we usually hover at anywhere from 12 to 16. We bumped 20 a couple of times this AM. So if you're new to the stream, welcome. We're glad to have you guys. For those of you that don't know, Lonzo cannot stand the Clemson Tigers and is wearing Clemson gear today because he lost our first round of bet picks last week. And we are at an all-time high for viewership on the stream over the last few minutes. We popped 22 while you were gone.
Oh, there was more than that while you were out.
Was there really?
It was like 24.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, people like to see me in pain.
Show enough do.
I will respond
My
in
mother-
kind.
Mama Brown said, don't make Lonzo wear Clemson stuff anymore. It's making him really cranky.
By the way, I just want to point out, Lonzo's not here.
Lorenzo is in the house, folks.
No, even worse, Clemson Lorenzo is here. I will point out that no one saw me in the hallway or the restroom, so I'm good. You putting that up there? Yeah, I saw that. Josh Allen is everywhere.
He's right behind you.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
The Josh Allen's coming from inside the house.
Don't do that, Zach, but that works.
Clemson.
That actually works. That works. But you forgot the P.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Hi, y'all. Welcome into Clemson Radio. I am Clemson. We're going to talk all Clemson today. We're going to talk about the Clemson tight ends. We're going to talk about the Clemson receivers, that O-line. Don't you just love them Clemson Tigers? Woo. You think this is bad? You better hope I don't have to wear that Tom Brady jersey.
Which one would you be least looking forward to?
I just said it.
Kobe.
Thank you, Roger. Oh, well done, James. Well done. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's the first time I heard that, too. Is Rob Brown in that car?
That was amazing. I don't know if you guys could hear that over the speaker, but a commercial just played where a guy was in the car with his family, was like, can everybody just shut the... And the wife's like, don't go there. What a freaking day, man. Fridays are the best because the show's just off the rails. Joseph said, do they make custom fatheads? If so, you guys should put one of Lonzo wearing that Clemson jersey on the studio wall. I would, but I don't want him to quit. All right? We got a really good thing going here with this show, and I don't want Zoe to walk into the studio and turn around giving his 2-minute notice.
By the way, Tim Holcomb, if you're gonna text, quit using the station. You know, you're texting in behalf of the station, and I am part of that station, and I disagree.
Oh, man. Everything about this is spectacular.
Go back to work, Timmy.
By the way, By the way, uh, Tim Frisbee's come by the stream. Tim Frisbee says, what the hell are you doing with that on, Lonzo? Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow, puking emoji.
You know what? I deserve that, Tim Frisbee. I do. And send all your ire towards me because what you're feeling is nowhere compared to what I'm feeling right now.
Oh, man. That's spectacular.
But you know what a real man does? He pays up on his bets. Doesn't
does.
mean he does it with a smile.
No, he hates it.
That's
but he's
right.
doing it.
That's right. And he also lets everyone know how much he hates it.
Oh, yeah. Pushing through this show is going to be a task.
Did
for
you
me
know
today.
we haven't even been on an hour yet?
Nope.
Did you know that?
Nope. We got 2 to go. We are not even 33% of the show in the bag yet. And the level of salt is being tasted by James and Easley, he says right now. Spectacular stuff. All right. Coming up on the show.
Hey, that side didn't count because I didn't have
No,
my
that's
mic
fine.
on.
I wasn't going to count that one.
That's really because his shirt is tight and I can't breathe. But, you know, there's that, too.
Coming up here in about 8 minutes, we're going to be joined by Chris Lewis, president of the Greenville Triumph. The Triumph on the road. They are at Charlotte Independence coming up tomorrow in a big one.
I'm looking forward to that. But quit telling your friends to look at the stream, okay? Stop looking at the stream. Stop
Y'all,
it.
I am not kidding you when I tell you we are way at an all-time high on stream views
I am
today.
I'm legitimately hurt now because that means everyone wants to see me suffer. I mean, that's not that hurts.
Look, here's reality. Reality is that means that we could be doing these numbers every day. Every day, you guys could be popping into the stream, but you were like, nah, until it was time to watch Lonzo in pain. And then you're like, yeah, now it's worth it. They ask me to watch the stream every day, but I'm only going to do it today because it's CLEMSON Day. So I got to check that out.
Clemso sounds like a clown, which is what I feel like right now.
Oh, man. All right. Got to take a break. Chris Lewis, president of the Triumph, joins us next at 10:35. We'll be joined by Kevin and John from Moving the Chains. We'll run you around the high school football slate. At 11 a.m., Lonzo and I make our week 2 picks in the Boo Box Bets punishment segment. And remember, if you take one thing away from this hour, it should be that the number one is the number of interceptions Josh Allen had last night. 1 pick, 1 NHF on the night. Hour 1's in the books. You're halfway. You're a third of the way done, Lonzo. Third of the way done with the show. Then you just got to sit in the studio or in the building the rest of the day in that jersey. Pretty excited for you. Lonzo's going to murder me. If I turn up dead tomorrow, it's because of Zoe. 2 hours left. The Rob Brown Show rolls on next. It's the Fan Upstate. All right, got to go off the stream to give a number. Be right back, boys and girls. Hang in there.
have everyone know that I brought us back on the stream just so I can continue to pay up on the bet, not because I wanted to. When Tim Frisbee comes at me, a legend for what he was able to do representing our country and then playing at the South Carolina Gamecocks, is coming at me. That hurts, man. That hurts. Which is why, Tim, don't ever agree to bets.
After the show, I need to do an experiment. I need you to go in that studio, and I need to see if you can hear me talking when I do my regular radio voice.
I can. I can hear you in the office. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the door closed.
Because I think Chris, somebody's in there, not Captain America Chris, Rock Chris is in there recording segments for Rock right now. And I'm like, I wonder if he has to like stop when I'm on the air.
Probably. It's pretty loud. It's amazing what technology can do, though, because the fact that the microphones can contain your power. He is not answering. Good morning. How are you today, sir? Oh, I'm horrible. Thank you for asking. I am paying up a bet and having to wear Clemson colors today, and I'm not enjoying myself. Oh, no. No, it couldn't. For me, it probably couldn't be worse. But we'll see. There are other things that I might lose and have to do. So, all right, we've got about a minute. Hang on. It's bad. It's bad. I'm having such a bad day. That this is bothering me so much that I actually just had a conversation.
You did about
yes.
it.
Yes, I did.
You really did.
It didn't freeze once.
You know why I stay on Twitter? For tweets like this.
Yeah, I can't see it. So.
It says,
no, show it to me. Show it to me. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
That's a brilliant tweet.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant tweet. It says, I guess this puts Charles in charge of our days and our nights. KNIGHTS. Freaking beautiful.
Oh, come on, Tim. Don't be doing that, dude.
What happened? Did he tweet us something?
Yeah.
I've gotten so many tweets.
He's pointing out. Don't point out to people that I'm doing this, Tim. You should be on my side. I'm not your nemesis. Diesel is. Me and you, we should be good. Oh, I touched it. Prism in the first break.
Our numero dos of the Rob Brown Show starts right now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to have you here, especially those of you who are joining us for the first time on the stream today.
Go away.
All-time
Go
high
away. Go away.
in stream viewership today. It is CLEMSON Day. Paying off his lost week one of Boo Box Bets. What a painful L for Zoe to take. Not only lost, but lost because his own team didn't cover their spread and now has to rock Clemson orange today on the show. You look good in it, at least. Orange is a suitable color for you.
Listen, as I pointed out yesterday, and I will continue to point out, even in the midst of my anger, I still look good. It doesn't matter what color I'm in.
Hey, you look good in orange.
You know, I'm daggone sexy. And if you're tuning in just for that, I don't blame you. But if you're tuning in to see the orange, go away. Just be about your business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to switch it up for just a minute and talk a little local footy. Your Greenville Triumph are on the road. They're going to be playing this evening, 7 p.m. on the road in Charlotte, taking on the Independents. The Triumph are currently third on the USL League One table as it stands right now. They are 2-1 in their last 5, and they are 1 point behind second place Union Omaha. They are 2 points behind table toppers, the Richmond Kickers. We are joined now by one of our friends, both on and off the air. Proud to call him a friend in both atmospheres. He is the president of the Greenville Triumph. He is Mr. Chris Lewis, joining us here on the show to talk a little net. Chris, good to have you back, big fella. How we doing?
I am good, my man. It's good to be back. I was starting to think like I said something to offend you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just am bad with organization and time management skills. That's all.
and I must say, and you know, because you know what my college rooting interests are. You know, I don't have a real rooting interest in this, but Lonzo, I just pulled up the stream. You look fantastic, my man.
I have no comment.
See, like, it suits you. You should just embrace it.
Tim Frisbee just said, you got to have a little fun, Lonzo. It's the only way through this.
He used the word through, which makes me think of throw, which makes me think of throw up, which is about what I'm about to do.
All right, Chris, let's talk a little bit about where the Triumph are right now. It's been interesting because while the Triumph are third on the table right now, a good chunk of the reason is I think Union Omaha and Richmond are they're kind of both punching above their weight right now. Omaha is 4-1 in their last 5. Richmond is 3-1-1 in their last 5. Just about everybody from the Triumph down are playing 2-2-1, 2-1-1 kind of style football over their last 5. What is this the point of the season over the past, 3 years? We've kind of seen the Triumph find a new gear as they've come down the home stretch. Do you expect that to be the same for Harksy's club this season?
I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, like you said, Rob, we're into year 4.5, of this technical staff and John being here and, our front office crew and everybody who's working on this. So, it's like you said, the team, and John and I have talked about this a number of times over the past 4+ years. As this league matures and evolves, it's going to become, parity is going to get more widespread. And that's because, players are going to get better. Players that are good players that have been playing other places now are hearing about the USL and USL League One in particular and what kind of brand of soccer it is. The magic of technology and the fact that coaches can scout from their phones are all things, again, you look at, the biggest thing and certainly in this country, in the NFL, which just kicked off last night. I mean, what do they say? They're like, you can find anything on the tape, right? You study the tape and you can figure out how to solve certain things. Now, it doesn't seem like our friend Sean McVay solved much of anything last night, but teams will start to see what happens, and they'll start to see, all right, this is how Greenville plays. This is how Omaha plays. So the teams that are up in front of us, they're good teams. Lest they won't let us forget either. But lest we not forget, Union Omaha, they're the defending champions of this league. Richmond has been strong for the last few years. They just haven't gotten the right bounces, I think, toward the end of the season and that kind of thing. But they've been consistently good all year. And Doug and I were talking about this. Omaha just doesn't seem to lose. They always have games in hand, and you think, all right, they're going to drop some points. And somehow they figure out how to score goals down a man, in added time. But looking at their run of form, won 3 of their last 5. Omaha's won 4 of their last 5. So, there are teams, and, the Independents, while they've hit a little bit of a skid, the team that we're going to play tonight, those are the ones you can't go to sleep on. So I think the parity of the league, the strength of the coaching, the level of player that's come into this league over the last few years has just kind of leveled the playing field for everybody. And it's going to be really exciting coming down the stretch of the season.
Speaking of down the stretch of the season, there are 6 regular season matches left. 4 of those are on the road. 3 of those are the next 3 tonight on the road at Charlotte, then on the 17th at Union Omaha at the defending champions, and then September 24th on the road at Hailstorm. What kind of challenges are presented both for the side on the pitch and for you guys as a front office when you guys have these stretches of 2 or 3 or longer road matches, especially, Chris, when we are fighting not just for a playoff spot, but fighting for seeding to try to get as many playoff games in Greenville as possible? What kind of challenges do you guys face when you've got a long stretch of roadies like you do here?
Well, starting on the pitch, it's this is kind of the dog days part of the season, and it's we're kind of coming out of that. You go through that the middle to to the middle third of the season there, but now you're coming down, like you said. We have a half dozen games left in the season. One of those being this evening up in Charlotte, and this is where every single point counts. And could I say a worse sports cliche? But it's every single point counts. And for us, there are 18 points left to go grab. And we have to grab the vast majority of them, if not all of them, because we've seen how this table ends up at the end of the season. And it could very well come down to the very last match being played the weekend of October 15th to determine the seeding that you mentioned. So with something like this, the stretch that we have coming up, obviously tonight's a very manageable trip up the road, 90 minutes. But then we have 2 significant road trips going out to Omaha and then going out to Colorado. Colorado has won 2, their last 2 matches, one of those being against us. Omaha, like we said, 4 of their last 5, and they just figure out how to win, that side. Richmond's been consistent all year. So these clubs, it's a tough situation to go into. Omaha's a tough place to play. The crowd's very into it. Our fans certainly know that from interacting on social media and things. And again, when you have a side like Colorado that you're playing at altitude, it's a long road trip. They've put together a couple wins now. They've got some confidence. That's tough. But I actually sat earlier this week with our leadership group, our player leadership group. And, I think to a degree they're looking forward to getting on the road a little bit because it becomes – you get more focus, right? You don't have the distractions that you may at home, with things that are going on at home. Because, again, these guys are normal guys. They have to do laundry. They have to go food shopping. They've got honey-do lists and all these kinds of things. On the road, you're together. You're in your unit. You're on your schedule. They get their schedule from Marcus for the trip, and they go and do their thing. And the guys really felt like this may be good for them because it may kind of create that more of that cohesiveness and that bond. And get them hyper focused for a stretch that we're going to need that. And then the front office side, we don't have home matches to prepare for right now, but we're working on those last 2 October matches to have the best crowds that we can get and hopefully have the best crowds all season, if not sold out. Hint, Greenville and upstate, let's get those matches sold out. And we have a boatload of community activation this month because we're trying to fit it in before we kind of put the kibosh on doing that so that the guys can focus and come the end of September and just focus on soccer. So there's a lot going on, but, as we say, this is the life we chose.
Chris Lewis, president of the Greenville Triumph, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. What is the team mentality right now, Chris? Because as you mentioned, there have been inside that last 5 a couple of results that I know Harksy's probably not thrilled about. I know that the guy's a little let down. I mean, you had in the last one at home a 2-1 lead 2-1 lead until very late, and a goal snuck in 90 plus 5, and that can do a number sometimes on the mentality of a football team when they find themselves in those types of situations, especially coming down the stretch, especially considering 3 points in that one, and Greenville's number 2 on the table right now. What is the mentality of this team? Does Harks have them in a good mental spot, knowing that not only are there 3 on the road, but one of them is against the defending champs, 2 of them are against teams that are well further down the table, and 6 points could be the difference between, dropping to 4th or moving to 1st in the rankings?
Well, like I said, in that I met with our leadership group, earlier this week, and it starts there. And I asked them just about the same question you just asked me, and the answer was, we control this. We can control what happens. We, like you just said, we play Omaha, who's in front of us, get 3 points. Now all of a sudden, we're up in front of them. We play Richmond again, the very last game of the year, which, hold on to your hats for what that one could mean. We can control what we do coming down the stretch. And, going to Colorado and getting, grabbing 3 points out there, tough place to play, altitude, all those kinds of things. A team that just beat us on our home pitch a couple of weeks ago. You can build strength and build mentality that way. And, you've talked to John enough times. He's very much about positivity. Usually I'm out in that huddle that happens post-game. It's kind of become a thing, particularly this season, where John has his post-game talk right out on the pitch, right after the game when things are fresh. And, yeah, the message was there was a bit of disappointment in the fact that we kind of switched off and gave away 2 points that we thought we were gonna lock in over the draw. But there was also a message of positivity, because that match we were far better than we were in the match that we dropped to Hailstorm the weekend prior. So it's taking those positives and it's focusing on the fact that look what we did for 80 plus minutes of this match. And yeah, we kind of checked out for a second there and it cost us. But look what we did. And we keep that mentality, the guys' mentality is good. Their mentality is one. And again, we have a bit of we have a more veteran team. And that leadership group are all vets. And they've guys that have been through this and they've been through up and downs. And they understand what they need to do to lift up some of the younger guys that maybe, to use a term from my former life, they may be grabbing their stick too hard. It's you get tight and you start thinking too much instead of doing. These guys, it comes natural. Go play the game, do what you do. And I think we'll be fine. And again, I think getting on the road and having that tight, cohesive environment for the next 3 weeks is, I think, can be good and will foster that, that togetherness and that mental attitude that they need to go be strong and go get the points we need to grab.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, Chris, because one of you mentioned bad sports cliches, but they're cliches for a reason. And one of them is sometimes this type of setup can be good for a team, especially if that team is maybe plateaued just a little bit, with players that maybe don't reach potential. We talk about getting a change of scenery. A lot of coaches will tell you sometimes it is good. It is a spark to take guys out of the routine, to take them out of their element, because it makes them rely on each other a little bit. Now, as long as I've been around you guys and this team, regardless of roster makeup or season we talk about, I've very rarely seen a professional football team, really a professional team of any level, that kind of leans on each other and has the togetherness and bond. Heck, there are guys that do not play for the Triumph anymore, and I see the boys on Instagram still hitting them up and tagging them and playing Xbox and shooting pictures together when they're around, etc. Is this an opportunity? Is Harksey looking at this 3-game roadie as, yeah, it's going to be tough. You hate to play 3 away from Legacy, but at the same time, maybe there is a need for a little bit of a kick in the pants, and to not have the creature comforts around 3 straight games will kind of forge that mentality a little bit.
No, absolutely. And it's one of those things where, again, in talking with the guys this week, they were looking forward to being on the road a bit because you can get hyper-focused. You don't have the outside distraction. You can get in a mode where your mind just won't switch off, like we experienced. And interestingly enough, I was talking with Coach Carlson yesterday a little bit, and now that the Liberty season, is over, Julie's back to, heading to Bob Jones, and she's participating actively in Triumph training. And, she and John, talk a good bit. John's very, very good about bouncing things off of others and trying to grab as many viewpoints as he can. And Julie and I were talking a little bit about a number of different things, but it kind of bled into this conversation. And she said it's why college teams travel like they do, where they may be playing at home, but they're going to go stay at a hotel that's up the road from the stadium because it gives you that, that compound, that we're in a camp now kind of mentality, gets you hyper-focused, gets you ready to go out and do your job and do the task at hand. So, I think it's about structure and it's about culture. And again, culture is a big sports buzzword, particularly nowadays and things. But the culture that's instilled in this club, and it flows from the Irwins, on through me and John and everyone else, it's very important. And John guards it, out at Bob Jones and within the walls of the training center like it's Fort Knox. And that's a big piece of it, is building that mentality, believing in the culture and what our philosophies and values are, and believing in themselves. And like you said, Rob, that they're a tight-knit group. And that's hard to create sometimes. But, John's done a good job of creating that each year. Each year I think we've had pretty tight-knit squads. And the guys are going to lean on each other. They know what's in front of them. And I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to go and get the job done.
Chris Lewis is the president of the Greenville Triumph. The Triumph are on the road this evening at Charlotte Independence. Then on the 17th, on the road at the defending champs Union Omaha. 24th on the road at Hailstorm. And then back-to-back homers on October 1st and 8th. I'll be in the building for both of those and very excited to get back home. But as it stands right now, top of the USL League One table, Richmond 41 points, Union Omaha 40, and Greenville right there in third with 39. A little bit of separation back towards Chattanooga in fourth at 33. A win tonight with a little help could go as far as moving Greenville to the top of the table. There's a lot of pressure on the boys tonight, and we see how they play. Chris Lewis, you're an absolute legend, my guy. Thanks for coming on, big fella.
It's my pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me. And Rob, different football note. I'm looking forward to texting you through this NFL season and not having to use the hashtag Gettleman.
But before you go, as a fan of New York State football, how good is Josh Allen, Chris Lewis?
Oh man, I'm wondering. There's a little piece of me that's like, I wonder if Joe Shane and Brian Daboll had any kind of secret deal going out the door. And once Danny Dimes gets shown the door at the Snoopy Stadium there, that they have something up their sleeve. I don't know. Wouldn't that be special?
No trust in Danny J. I like it. We'll catch up, Chris Lewis. You're a good man. We'll talk to you soon, big dog.
Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
There you go. That is Chris Lewis, president of your Greenville Triumph, on the road tonight at Charlotte Independence. Big one tonight. 3 points move the Greenville Triumph to the top of the USL League One table. Obviously, they would need a little bit of help from Richmond and Omaha, or I guess I should say the teams playing them, in order to stay there. But 3 games back-to-back on the road, and the Triumph are right now fighting for a top seed in USL League One. Let's see. We've got coming up on Sunday, Tucson will play Union Omaha. And then on Wednesday next, Union Omaha and Richmond will play each other, hoping for a draw in that one. We'll keep you up to date on the USL League One table as the rest of the Triumph season plays out. I am Rob Brown. He is Clemso, a.k.a. Lorenzo, because Lorenzo writes out, ain't happy today. Ladies and gentlemen, come to the stream, facebook.com/thefanupstate. Go to YouTube, search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. Check out the Twitter page, @TheFanUpstate on Twitter, and go to either one of our Twitter pages, @The Rob Brown Show, @Lonzo on Word, and you'll find out why. I'll just tell you he looks good in orange. Take a break. Short segment. We'll head out about 10:30. And then the boys from Moving the Chains will be here to break down all the local high school action at 10:35. At 11 o'clock, Lonzo and I make our Boo Box Bets Week 2 predictions, and we'll see who's eating a punishment next week. I think if Lonzo goes back-to-back L's, he may just quit this game.
Dude, I've been here working on my 23rd year. I ain't quitting.
I didn't say the show.
I was going to say,
I said the game.
I've made it through much worse things than this.
Yeah. The listeners
Doesn't
might be
mean it's
picking up
easy, but I will make it through. We shall overcome.
Let's take a break. Back after this, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
We're right back streaming. Don't go anywhere.
All right, so I've now reached nearly the halfway point. Although technically the halfway point because because if you factor in the commercials,
10:54.
yeah. So it's not any easier. I've calmed down a little bit, but I feel it coming back. So I'm just pointing that out.
Is it worse wearing the gear here, or would it be worse wearing the gear on your show Saturday night?
That's not happening. That's not happening. Because
That's my show.
exactly. And there's only one sport on the Upstate Pulse, and that's professional wrestling or sports entertainment, depending on, who you are. Wow. Even really, Chris? Really? You too? I mean, come on, people. I bet this doesn't happen when Rob loses. If he ever does,
dude.
If he ever does,
You're
not going to lose.
On if I lose. What do you mean? I beat you by barely this Saturday, man. Barely got past you, and it's only because your coach blew it.
By the way, Chris, if you're still watching, the man bun ain't happening unless I lose. Here's how much I hate the man bun. It will be equally as painful if I have to wear a man bun.
As the jersey?
Yes.
Really?
I do not want to wear a man bun. As they say in the business, this is legitimate heat on the man bun, okay? If you choose to wear one, that's fine for you. I mean, T2 looks good in the man bun, I guess, but not me. It's already taken a life of its own, Trey. Tim Frisbee's out here sharing it. Chris Lewis is talking about it. Everybody talking about me in orange. And then we got 2 Clemson fans coming in here in just a couple minutes.
We do. We sure do.
I'm like a museum exhibit. Or a dude in the shackles out in front with somebody got tomatoes. I don't even remember what those things are called.
Lonzo just said he feels like, what did you say?
A
museum exhibit?
I don't care. I don't care. I have my mic on. Yes, a museum exhibit.
The stream views have been way at an all-time high today.
And then you're getting major people tweeting out stuff about this, and it's just not. I knew this was going to be bad, but I didn't know it was going to be this kind of bad. I hate you, social media.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Lonzo fell 6-5 in our opening week of Boo Box Bets picks. So Lonzo had to draw a punishment out of the box. And the first draw he had was wear a Clemson shirt and hat for an entire day at work. He is not a fan of the orange. Well, he showed up in the Clemson jersey. He is rocking the ACC Network hat.
Clemson Network.
And however, I let that one slide because my man DJ Tim came in here before the show and not only provided Zoe with the orange Clemson baseball jersey to wear today, but also hung a big-ass Clemson flag on the wall right behind him. So people have been having fun with the retweets and creating new artwork around Lorenzo Wrightsell.
There's one good thing.
Orange.
One good thing about this today. My wife told me she would not be watching. And as far as I can tell, she is not. And she doesn't need to see this. Because then she'll start getting all defensive and coming at people, and she doesn't need to do that.
Miss Lisa coming to play defense, much like Von Miller and the Buffalo Bills did last night.
Wait a minute. Von Miller plays for Buffalo?
Sure did. Plays good, too.
I thought only Josh Allen played for Buffalo.
On offense. Josh Allen had a hell of a night.
By the way,
and so did Vaughn.
check out our, if you go to our chapters part on the Odyssey app, which you should download in case you missed part of this fine program today, you can go back and listen to it again. And on the chapters, I used all the characters to just put Josh Allen in there. Hey, they could come at me, but that entire segment, that's all that was. So, it's an apt description.
Texter says, Lonzo, we know you don't drink, but considering your current state of affairs, we wouldn't hold it against you if you do today.
Vengeance is my choice of drink, and I will have some.
Texter said, as an avid Notre Dame fan, I am glad that my team could help Lonzo fulfill this loss. But, Zoe, as an avid Notre Dame fan, I join you in your misery. End quote.
That whole misery loves company thing, that doesn't help. So we're both equally miserable.
Oh, the texters are, he said, I join you in your distaste for the color orange. Lonzo is not enjoying today.
You're forcing me to be a former version of myself. A version of myself that had to endure looking at a Clemson fan for 14 years. A version of myself that had to be defensive and angry all the time. I want to be chill and laid back. But I can't today, can I?
I mean, I didn't pull it out.
No, if I'm chilled and laid back, you know what that says? He's okay with it. Well, guess what? I'm not.
Oh, man. 11 o'clock.
And I hope the people in the hallway can hear me talking almost as loud as Rob Brown does. This sucks.
11 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, is when we pull this week's picks. I provided them to Lonzo about 20 minutes before the show started today. That is when I actually selected the games that we will pick from today.
And all I did was look at him and go, I can't. All I see is orange. All I see is orange. So I just, am I going to overanalyze now because I'm suffering today, or am I going to go, I got to take a chance, because if I don't take a chance, I'm going to end up in something worse than this, if there is something worse than this.
For the record, of our 10 games last week, we only picked differently in 3 of them. We picked differently in 3 of them. Rob Brown went 6-4 overall. Lonzo went 5-5. The only difference was the Notre Dame-Ohio State game late. He had Illinois fall into Indiana. That turned out to be the correct. I had Georgia smoking and covering Oregon. That turned out to be the correct. The only game that did Enzo was his own Buckeyes not covering 17 against the Irish. Won the game, didn't cover.
All I can say today, I'm not liking you, Ryan Day, but that's okay, because if you being conservative in almost the entire second half gets us a national championship, then I can endure the pain that I'm enduring now.
All right, coming up in the next segment of the show.
Luckily, people stopped looking, so our viewership's
stream
going
numbers back
down.
down to normal.
It's going down, and
They've
people
gotten
are
their
like
taste.
they've seen it, and now they're moving on.
James said Josh Allen willed the defense to those 3 interceptions.
Absolutely, he did. He did, because if Josh Allen isn't there, that defense doesn't play well.
Do it for Josh! Kevin and John from the Moving the Janes podcast. Join us next on the Rob Brown Show.
I just want to stretch this segment a little bit longer so they don't have any time to be in here to gawk at me.
We'll round out the high school football slate when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Just want to point out to you guys that I do control your mics.
Texter said, Lonzo, aren't you glad the show is half over?
I will correct you and say it's over half. Way over.
What was the final score last week?
I went 6-4. Zoe went 5-5. Yeah.
But all Ohio State needed to do was score one more touchdown,
It
and I would
literally
have
came down
won.
to Ohio State, Notre
And
Dame.
then they decided to pull everything
Yep.
back and just, milk the clock.
Yep.
I didn't realize Notre Dame was playing the cover too.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they would have attacked that. They did not. I mean, they did until Zoe needed them to.
Well, they punted with like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Trey, don't be putting that in there, man. No.
We've had some really funny stuff today.
You gonna do it season long too, or just week?
Yeah, well, and we've decided unless one of us goes on a 5-week losing streak, and then it's over. If we get to 5, it's over. Lonzo may start taking just so we don't have to deal with it.
He's already got one down.
He's got
I
one
would
down.
never be so clever
Lonzo's
as to
anti-tanking.
tank. No, I'm going to do my best. It doesn't mean it'll be good enough. Obviously, it wasn't last
I
week.
beat you by 1.
Doesn't matter. It's still a loss.
Oh man, I like it. It took some damn work, but we got it done. Let's get y'all's prep sheet up.
All right. Why are we getting more people watching again? Go away. Go away. There's nothing to see here. Go away. Don't tell your friends.
Nothing to see
Don't tell
here.
your enemies. Don't tell your family. Just go away.
Tim Frisbee was spreading it all over social a little while ago.
These screenshots and memes are gonna live forever.
Yes, I'm aware of this. You're right, James. I should look at it that I lost because of one touchdown. So all they needed was one, and they could have scored a touchdown. They just didn't do it. And the flag absolutely makes it worse. It does. And I will make Tim pay for that somehow.
So he borrowed that jersey from Tim Holcomb,
Okay.
and it was just supposed to be shirt and hat.
Yeah.
But Tim came in here and hung the flag this morning too.
Do you guys agree it's easier to borrow a T-shirt than a hat? Because people do
Yeah,
not want
we
to
gotta
lend
keep
a
it
hat.
to t-shirts unless somebody provides a jersey, because neither of us is dropping a hundo for a loss.
And plus,
bet.
no one wants to say, "Here, use my hat." I'm not
Yeah.
going to. I mean, you're just
I'll,
not
I'll,
going to
I'll
do that.
buy a cheap T-shirt to pay off a bet, but I can't buy a jersey that I'll wear once.
So, do y'all know going into the week what the punishment's gonna be?
No, we
No.
got to pick it out of the box.
Yeah, we got a box
We know what
that's
the
just full of
possibilities
punishments,
are.
and you got to draw one at random.
Oh, I didn't choose this on purpose.
All right, putting a bow on our numero dos here at the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate. And as we do every single Friday, it is time to talk a little high school ball around the upstate of South Carolina. Joining me once again in studio are two of the hosts of the Moving the Chains podcast, available on their website at movingchains.com. No G. You can find them on Facebook. Same situation. Facebook.com/movingchains. Twitter and Instagram at movingchains. And you can tag the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever major podcasts are found. We've got in studio Kevin Thomas, John Epps. What up, boys?
Rob, doing well, man. Look like we're going to miss the weather tonight, so that's a good sign for Friday night action. For
Yeah,
sure.
because those 10 o'clock p.m. kickoffs, I've had one of them so far, and that was enough. Enough.
10 o'clock, not so bad. The 12:30 when you're leaving the game.
That
Little
was,
rough.
you're right. You're right. 10 o'clock, I was ready for football. 12:30, I was ready for bed at that point. We got a little high school football action going on tonight, and because their play-by-play guy is exceptionally talented and handsome, let's talk about this Burns team, boys, because You know, coming into the year, I don't know about you guys and how you felt about it. I thought Burns had the chance to be good, and I thought Burns was a threat. They're better than I thought they were, at least offensively. I mean, defensively, they're flying around. They lost Miguel Dingle for the season. He was going to be a big part of it. Torn labrum. He's got to get surgery. He's out. Even without him, that defense was good last week at Greenville. But offensively, Colby Shaw came into his own last week. Kamarius Bomar has proven he's a playmaker at every aspect of the field. He can run. He can catch. How good is this Burns team?
They're a lot better than I expected them to
Yeah.
be. You know, we saw Burns last year, and they were good offensively last year too, but the defense struggled. I am super impressed with how they're playing defense. Even without superstar Dingle, they really controlled the game against a really good Greenville team last Friday night. I'm excited to see what they do in region play. They've played some smaller schools to this point very well, but let's see how they do in region play.
You know, it's been so explosive with Kai Cook and Bomar and Weaver and those guys. I mean, you can't shut them down for 4 quarters. You know, I think they had a kind of a slow start in week 0, weeks 1. Finally came out the second half in both those weeks. But last week they were good the whole game, Rob. You know, and that game ended up 56-28. Really wasn't that close, I feel like, against Greenville. They probably beat them worse than that. Tonight against Greer, I mean, they should go 4-0 quite easily. Greer has got some playmakers on offense. Chase Bird, Danny Martin, Caden Rowland, those guys. Defense has been really, really bad. I think Burns has another field day tonight over back at Nixon Field.
So Burns put up 56 last week, but so did Greer. Now, Greer's 1-2, but putting up 56 is a mark, and they have got some exceptional offensive talent. The only reason I think everybody leans Burns tonight is that Greer defensively has kind of been a question mark this year, and Colby Shaw past 500, the offense well up over 600 yards last week, does not mean great things for Greer.
Not at all. You know, Greer week 0 played Daniel. I think Daniel scored 51, and they played Hillcrest, and that's when Bennett Judy and Avery McFadden had huge games there, players of the week type stuff. They finally got a win last week over Blue Ridge, but that defense has just had a hard time with anybody's offense that can really get, you know, out wide and kind of get the athletes out there. I think Burns has the same thing tonight, and I think they score a lot again.
It's a fun little rivalry, but right now, Burns is just on a different level than where Greer is.
So we'll put that one in the back pocket. That one, of course, you'll be able to hear on the Fan Upstate. 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 kick. Let's take a look at a couple of the other games going around right now. Greenville falls to 0-3 at the hands of Burns, and I know that's an uncomfortable spot for them. I will give Greenville this. Those boys last week, even down 30+, fought like everything mattered in that game. I mean, that's a team with a lot of heart, a lot of intensity. They go up against a 1-2 Malden team. Jordan Sink, an outstanding wide receiver core. Can Greenville come off the slide this week?
They need to. You know, obviously, Rob, we talk about it every year that the non-region play doesn't really matter, so it doesn't hurt you if you lose all these games. But it's got to hurt your psyche a little bit, you know, not really over for playoff standings, but it just hurts you going to 0-3, 0-4, stuff like that. Malden looked pretty good last week in a loss to Powdersville. They hung around for a while there. Defense had several interceptions with Bailey Grant and Aaron Bowens there. Kelvin Johnson's being a really good running back for them right now. Malden's got some firepower there. I think they give Greenville a game. This is more of a barometer for Greenville where they don't have to win this game. But if they somehow lose it and lose it badly, then you really, I think, press the fire alarm for those guys.
Yeah, you know, Greenville has played the best competition they could play first 3 games of the season. You know, they have stepped up to the plate, but they've got talent. Don't look at that 0-3 and think, oh, this Red Raider team is not very good. They are very, very good. They're breaking in a new quarterback, Jordan Sink, and he has been brilliant to start the season. I think Greenville's in really good shape, and I think they win tonight.
Let's look at a couple of other ones. Spartanburg is at Grayson over in Georgia. Spartanburg with a 34-3 win over Broome last week. And the Burgers played kind of a tough schedule to open this thing up. They did have a hell of a game. What was it last week against Dorman, I think?
Dutch Fork.
Dutch Fork. That came down to the winning moments of that game. This Spartanburg team, are they better than a 1-2 record indicates, and can they cross the state line and bring back a dub?
10 out of 10, 100%. They are definitely better than that 1-2 ranking or 1-2 record, and they nearly knocked off Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork was limping a little bit, had some injuries, But anytime you take Dutch Fork to the wire, that's a big deal. Spartanburg is really, really good. The only problem, it's not going to be that apparent tonight because Grayson is extremely good. This is a high-level program out of Georgia, and they are disgusting on defense. They've got a 4-star safety going to LSU next year and a 4-star linebacker going to Tennessee. It's going to be tough for the Vikings to get much going, but this is great to prepare yourself for region play and a playoff run.
Yeah, Grayson last week had a shutout over Fort Dorchester, one of the premier 5A schools here in the state, in the Cam Newton Classic back in Atlanta. And then it probably wasn't that close, honestly, John and Rob. That game was pretty out of hand pretty early there. Spartanburg, they got the playmakers on offense. Jeter's played well this year. They just, like you said, they're just getting better, getting ready for region play. This is not a game that I expect them to win, but I'm glad they're playing it and glad they're stepping up their competition level outside of the region for sure.
Let's look at Hillcrest at Boiling Springs. The Rams have played good defense this year, just been having issues scoring points. They're on the road tonight.
Boiling Springs got their first win last week for Coach Reel. Very nice there. Hillcrest, people like to talk about the offense. Bennett Judy, Avery McFadden, Logan Coulter, those guys have been great this year. But the defense has been kind of overlooked, I feel like. They've played well, had a nice 4th down stop last week in a 19-14 win to win that ball game. They held Greer down to a low amount of points there, a few other games as well. Defense has been great against Lawrence, too. I think Hillcrest is the real deal. They're one of my big-time contenders in 5A this year. They should win this game fairly handily tonight.
They are so much fun to watch. They score in every phase of the ballgame. We know about the offense, how good they are. They do it on defense, and they've done it on special teams. They are really, really a high-flying team. I expect them to show off again tonight. Good team to watch the rest of the season.
JL Man is at Easley. JL Man is 3-0. They have not been 4-0 since all the way back in 1996. Talk to me a little bit about that one. And for the folks that are interested in that, you guys did a little interview available on the Moving the Chains podcast.
Yeah, Coach Scoot Watson, talked to him last night. This is a program that hasn't been good for a while. Haven't made the playoffs since 2011, Rob. Off to a great start here, 3-0. I think they should go 4-0 tonight. They've got some really good playmakers on offense. Ethan Anderson, Michael McClellan, Toby Cates Jr., those guys can really score the ball. And the defense is coming along, too. I think Easley is a team that's got a young quarterback. They're a growing program under Coach Dura there. But I think JL Man is a little bit ahead of them this year, Rob and John.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think the Patriots go 4-0, and it's so important at every level of football, right? But especially high school football, have solid quarterback play, and Ethan Anderson has certainly been that for the Patriots. I think they've got some things cooking for this season. They could have a big year.
Let me ask you guys this, and this is kind of a subjective question. It's been interesting. Regional play is all that matters at the end of the day. All the rest of the games are either tune-up games or just games so the boys can play more than 2 or 3 games in a year. But we have seen a lot. I mean, early in the season, Burns welcomed Brooklyn Casey in. That's a 3A school. They were clearly outmatched. How do you, just as a sports fan, how do you guys feel? I mean, it's kind of at the college level when you see, FAMU traveling to an SEC school or Georgia State taking on South Carolina in Columbia. You kind of go, man, you guys are outmatched. You're outgunned. I know it's for a paycheck. Not really the same way at the high school level. Is there? Should we be working to create more level matchups, or does that really just kind of cut into what regional play is?
It's kind of hard to predict. Going into the Burns-Brooklyn Casey game, I thought BC had a good chance to win the game. Obviously, that was wrong. But you do have some of these blowout games when you cross classifications. But we had a game earlier this year, a very, very, very good 4A team in South Lawrence played a 3A Oceanside team.
2A Oceanside
team. Both very good teams. It was a 29-28 barn-burning game that came down to the buzzer. So you love to have games like that and then realize talent is talent.
Sure.
Whether you're a big school or a little school, if you got kids that can play, they can play. And it's cool to see that proven when you got some of the little schools playing the big boys and when they compete and sometimes win.
Yeah, I like seeing some of the interesting matchups you get that you don't get throughout the year typically. It's weird, Rob. They used to do it where you would get certain number, points for playoffs by scheduling either a 5A or 4A team and yada, yada. And it just got weird with the scheduling because some people would try to schedule all these 5A schools that weren't good to up their rankings for the playoffs. And some of these 4A and 3A teams had a hard time getting games and whatnot. So I think that's really just kind of help out with getting the schedule set there. But I do like some of the matchups we get, even though, like you said, at times there can be a big discrepancy there. What game you guys going to be at tonight?
So I think I'm going to head over to the reservation at Gaffney tonight. Check out the Indians, and really is a pivotal game for them, a big swing game for them. If they can win, they can really grab some momentum that they need. If they lose, there's going to be a lot of sweaty palms and a little bit of nervousness over in Cherokee County the rest of the season.
No doubt. And I'm still up in there. I may be at Greenville, Malden, possibly going down to Lexington for the Blythewood-Lexington game. So we shall see what happens with that, Rob.
Make sure you are following these boys on all their platforms. You guys got anything special coming up?
Yeah, man, a couple more interviews coming up. Every Friday night we do the Twitter Spaces. Yeah, we have some coaches hop in. You hopped in last week talking about some games, so definitely join us on Twitter after the games there to talk about some ball. But that's the main stuff right now, I think.
Find them on Twitter and Instagram at Movin' Chains, no G, Movin' Chains. On Facebook at facebook.com/Movin' Chains, and their website, movinchains.com. And the podcast available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Fellas, appreciate you coming by. Happy Football Friday, baby.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Rob.
Do you want to comment on Lonzo's outfit today?
I love it.
It looks lovely.
Kevin opened the door and went, oh, Lonzo lost a bet. Hour number 3 is around the corner. Speaking of that bet, our Boo Box Bets picks are next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Be right back, stream. Don't go anywhere. All right.
Yay, we're back.
Hit me back today when you are set up. What? I'll figure it out.
Did you? You haven't had time. You should read what I say. Yeah, you may have time on Twitter.
Okay. some artwork coming out.
Yeah, I saw it. I still want you to read that thing. I really do.
Message. Yes.
Don't read through the whole
I
thing.
am, but just the highlights good.
Yeah. No, Lonzo did not say that. I'm being misrepresented.
You're that little of a threat in my world. Wow.
See, this is a problem when, and especially when Rob shares something like that, people think that I actually said that when I did not.
Clearly.
So, yeah, no, it's not clearly. By putting a picture up and putting a quote up, it makes it sound like I said that, and I did not. This is when it crosses the line from a bet into slander.
Slander. Libel. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Brown, the great one. Lonzo is at the board today. We got a lot to get into. Facebook.com/thefanupstate, Twitter.com/thefanupstate, YouTube. Search and subscribe to the Rob Brown Show. We'd love to have you guys joining us on the air today. Should we just jump right into the picks? Lonzo's less excited now. Texter said, Orange, you glad the show is half over? And for the record, no, Lonzo did and has not said Cade is better than DJ. Just so we're all clear on that. Skrilla made a joke, and James was like, did he say that? No.
See, those are the things when it goes that way, even though it seems kind of harmless, that could be put out there that I said something I didn't say. And at that point, even though I'm paying off a bet, I take the stuff off and I put it aside, and we're done with the whole thing. Because have fun with it, even though it's at my expense, but don't put things out there saying I said something I didn't say, because that can become a legal issue.
He did not say that. Although I suspect we're not going to get sued for saying Cade's better than DJ, mainly because about 80% of the Clemson fan base would get sued at that point.
No, I don't. But you can look at it this way. If I were playing the Clemson fan, I guess that's exactly what I would say.
There it is.
Because it's not a very
I think that was the joke.
It's not a very bright take.
I think that was the joke.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there.
Yeah.
I'm a little clouded, I'm a little angry. I'm a lot of things, and cannot wait till this day is over.
Yes, the joke was that as a Clemson fan, you said that and said, as many others have, that Dabo is wrong. All right, let's get into it. So if you have missed the concept of the Boo Box Bets, it's very simple. We have 10 games now that the NFL season is upon us. We got 5 NFL games. We got 5 college football games. We will pick them against the spread. Whoever comes up with fewer victories will reach into their Boo Box on Monday or Tuesday, depending on if we're picking the Monday Night Football game that week, and if it matters, and select a punishment out. Lonzo lost by a single game this past week and therefore is rocking the Clemson Orange today as his punishment. Added to my Boo Box yesterday was the full experience at Mad World, the premier haunted attraction in South Carolina. And I can pretty much tell you, Zoe, I will hate that more than you hate wearing that jersey.
Oh, you will if I'm there. If I'm there, because I'm going to make sure that things happen that don't always happen to everybody.
I hate being jump scared, and one of y'all psychopaths suggested yesterday that if Rob loses, one of the punishments should be attend Mad World. And I know we went last year just to play their new putt-putt course, which is a lot of fun. The park was closed. There were only like 14 of us there, and that made it worse for me. Knowing there was not a performer dressed up there, I was still like, the putt-putt course goes through like an indoor-outdoor transition, right?
You did see that they were watching us the entire time.
Yes.
No. I'm talking about the people dressed up.
Yes.
No. They were hidden in shadows.
Oh, gotcha.
And you couldn't see them.
Listen,
so if you looked around any corner, you might have been staring in the eyes of a monster.
When we were inside of the putt-putt course, there's like 2 or 3 rooms where it's like it's only wide enough for one person to go through at a time.
All right? Some people.
All right, it's only wide enough where I can go through sideways at a time.
Yeah, it made it a little,
Yeah. And every time, because the lady friend was there with me, and I know her, and she loves jump scaring me, and she knows the folks that run that joint. So, like, every time the hole would turn a corner, I would, like, James Bond my way around the corner to make sure there wasn't a evil creature waiting for me. I'm not looking forward to that, right? So, anyway.
But Rob is never gonna lose because he knows. Come on now, why are we getting more views again? Stop it! Go away! All right. Nothing to see here.
All right. Some poor guy only wanted to say hi to Rob, gets jump scared and gets punched. If you're gonna jump scare me, do it from a distance. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's not. Don't let him fool you. He's the cower in the corner after being jump scared.
I just get mad and leave. All right, here's our games. Let's start. You want to start college or pro, Lonzo? You want to jump into week 1 of the NFL or start with the college?
You know what? As the resident loser, you just pick whatever you want.
All right, we'll go in the order I wrote them down. Lonzo, laces or spaces for first pick?
I still don't understand how it works. Spaces.
It is laces. I will go first this week. You went first last week. I go first this week. Alabama is at Texas this week. Steve Sarkisian, of course, a longtime Nick Saban assistant, got a lot of familiarity with that Bama program that he was in, now the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't know if you saw this. Quinn Ewers, quarterback for Texas, after the game last week, got his car towed because he parked in a non-parking spot and his car got towed during the game. He sent out a tweet. He's like, yo, did I really just get towed for my own game? And Sark came out and was like, yeah, man, of course he got towed. He got parked in the wrong spot. You're not above anybody else. And then the guy writing that article pointed out that Ewers, the 19-year-old college freshman, Lonzo, driving a special edition Aston Martin.
Wow.
A James Bond car.
They towed that just so they could say they towed it. Hey, guess what I towed today?
Oh, you know what they thought? They thought they got some rich booster. They're like, yeah, we can charge this guy whatever tow price we want. I mean, they can. The quarterback who was a freshman is driving an Aston Martin.
And probably might be able to afford it. So
NIL, baby.
So maybe they could
NIL, baby.
shake him down. Yeah.
You're right. I really just wanted to tell that story. Bama, minus 20.5 at Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, this team is that good. This Alabama team is that good. They're going to beat everybody. There ain't an L on the schedule unless it's Georgia, but they got to win by 3 touchdowns or better. Lonzo, they will. I know Sark knows the program. I know Sark knows Nick. At the end of the day, knowing somebody and being able to beat somebody are very, very different. Steve Sarkisian is going to realize, as will the Longhorn fans, that Texas is not back. Watch this. I'm going to do an obscene gesture. Horns down, boys. Alabama covers up 21.
Well, unlike the coach for my favorite team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, Ryan Day, Nick Saban doesn't see a lead and go, okay, let's back off, boys. He just keeps going. That's what he does. I'm gonna be mad about that all day until I can take this stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bama covers, and they cover big.
Alabama to cover for both of us. So 9 games left to determine the difference. And here we go out to Fayetteville, where the Hogs, the Razorbacks, will be taking on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Arkansas, 8.5-point favorites over the Gamecocks. Gamecocks got to be within 9. Arkansas got to win by over 9. Zoe, you're up. Bat leadoff.
this is difficult because you got to put your heart away and look at it realistically. And even though it was only one game, which we talked about a whole lot yesterday about it being only one game, that first game of the year, is South Carolina better than what they played against a team that should have been lesser? Is Arkansas as good as they looked?
This one sucks, doesn't it?
It does.
I hate this
because,
line. I hate this line.
You know what? As much as I hate wearing this orange right now, I'm going to say Arkansas does not cover.
South Carolina inside of 8.5, says Lonzo. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm glad the lady friend's at work and not listening right now because Arkansas.
She was listening earlier.
I know she was. As soon as I told her this morning, I'm like, oh, by the way. She's like, well, see you at 9. Arkansas is going to win this game by 14. That's not to say South Carolina won't show up. Not to say that South Carolina, you did not give up 200 yards rushing to Georgia State and then think that you're going to be able to not do that against Arkansas. On top of that, listen, Spencer Rattler, I don't think everything was pinned on him. The offensive line blocking was bad. The wide receiver blocking was bad. The route running was okay, but it's got to get better. All of that leads me to believe Arkansas wins this by 2 touchdowns. There's game number 1 of difference. I got Arky covering up 9. Zoe says they're within 8.5, which means we likely will, as of right now, have a loser next week.
By the way, really quick, please, people on the stream, go away. Go away. That number keeps spiking up. Stop looking, okay? Yeah, I lost. Go away.
Last week, Georgia State got covered up on the line by South Carolina, but they did put up that 200 yards rushing. They did score on the Gamecocks. North Carolina, come on and raise up, went up to Boone to take on Appy State last week. Boone to take on Appalachian State. That game was a failed Appalachian State 2-point conversion away from being a Mountaineers win. This week, the Tar Heels are on the road in Atlanta at Georgia State, taking on the Panthers at the old Turner Field. Carolina's, though, 7.5-point favorites in this one. Listen, North Carolina scores a bunch of points, but Appalachian State ran over, through, and around them. Georgia State impressed me last week at South Carolina. I don't like this pick. If I lose, this game is going to be a part of the reason why, perhaps. I'm going to take the Panthers to lose this game to North Carolina, but inside of 7.5. Give me the Panthers at home, inside 7.5 against the Tar Heels.
All right, before I give my pick, Joey on the stream tuned in just to see me in Clemson colors. Let me reiterate this. Go away, people. Go away.
Neil
just stop
popped
it.
in and said, looking good, fellas. # Spurs up.
All right, so you're right, man. North Carolina put up a lot of points last week against App State. Is Georgia State's defense better than App State? I don't think so. So I'm going North Carolina to cover.
All right, there's another game of difference. Tennessee is on the road at your reigning, defending, undisputed Atlantic Coast Conference champions, the Pittsburgh Panthers. Tennessee on the road, Zoe, a 6-point favorite in this one. Got to win by a touchdown or better. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't hate this Tennessee program. A lot of people riding Pittsburgh high. They ain't got Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett ain't walking through that door. Tennessee goes to Pitt and knocks off the Panthers, the reigning ACC champs, in a big way. Tennessee by 7 or better, Lonzo. There is the availability for a push in this game because the line is an even 6.
Well, Pittsburgh played pretty good last week. Tennessee up and coming all the time. But one thing is they're playing a team that I think is in the ACC. So I'm going to go with Tennessee to cover. Yes.
All right. We both got the Volunteers covering up 6. Speaking of those Appalachian State Mountaineers, they are down taking on Jimbo's Texas A&M Aggies down at College Station, Kyle Field. The Aggies are 19.5-point favorites in this one, Lonzo. They do not have next year's recruiting class in yet. That's going to be the big one, but not a bad A&M team, a team that beat Alabama last year. Can A&M win by 20 or better, Lonzo?
Let's see. Texas A&M, North Carolina. Do they belong? Should they be mentioned in the same sentence? No, they should not. Yeah, Texas A&M is going to cover this.
He's got Texas A&M in the cover. I also have Texas A&M and the cover in this one. I think the Aggies are. I think the Mountaineers are cocky and confident in a good way, a little bit after the just barely lost to North Carolina. North Carolina ain't Texas A&M.
By the way, the next game we pick will be, I think, the most difficult thing on the entire list.
It is time to pick some NFL games, ladies and gentlemen. And here's what we got through the first 5, our college picks. We both have Alabama covering up better than 20.5 at Texas. I have got Arkansas winning by 9 or better over the Gamecocks. Lonzo says South Carolina will be inside of that 8.5. I've got Georgia State at home inside of 7.5 of Carolina. Lonzo says the Tar Heels cover up 7.5. Tennessee is 6-point favorites at Pittsburgh. Lonzo and I both have the Volunteers covering that one up. And we both have Texas A&M beating Appalachian State by 20 or better. To the National Football League we go. This is where it gets dicey because we have not seen these teams play yet. We have not seen where these teams are going yet. We open, Lonzo. New England is at Miami, and the Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites in this one. Of course, Tyreek Hill is going to be a Miami Dolphin alongside the most accurate quarterback in the National Football League. Tua Tagovailoa will be tossing the rock to him. This one is interesting. I'll tell you why I think, and this is going to be one, Zoe, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start talking and talk myself into a pick one way or the other.
That's 2. But again, I don't care. I'm flipping back and forth in my head right now, going through everything. I do not know about this. Go ahead, though.
Teron Armstead was arguably the best offensive tackle last year for the New Orleans Saints and one of the best 3 or 4 in the league. He is now a Miami Dolphin. The Dolphins have built a pretty respectable offensive line. That is something they have struggled with the last couple of years. Tua Tagovailoa is going to have more time to throw the football. He also has less pressure on him to do so and now a vertical threat. New England has not looked good in the preseason. They looked okay in the preseason at best. Mac Jones is good. He's not Josh Allen, but he's not bad. I am going to take the Dolphins to win by 4 or better in this one. I mean, it's still the hoodie, but I think the question of who's more responsible, Brady or the hood, has officially been answered since he departed New England. I'm taking the Dolphins to cover up 3.5. They win by 4 or better.
All right, so the disarray that's supposedly happening in New England, I think it's all a ruse. It's a work. I don't believe it for a second. I think Belichick's having fun watching the reactions in the media when they ask him who's the offensive coordinator and stuff. He's laughing his butt off inside. We rarely see it outside. But there's a coach in Miami who has some familiarity with New England. I can't go with New England. I got to go with Miami and the most accurate quarterback ever in the history of the NFL.
So both of us taking the Dolphins to beat up the Patriots by 4 or better. Pittsburgh is at Cincinnati, and the Bengals are 6.5 points favorites in this one. We do know that Mitchell Trubisky is now the starting quarterback for the Steelers. They will try to figure it out, of course, without Big Ben for the first time in almost 2 decades. Over on the Bengals side, can they repeat? Or is there a Super Bowl competitor hangover for the Bengals? Week 1, Cincinnati by 7 or better, or Pittsburgh inside 7, Lonzo?
All right, so obviously these teams don't like each other, same division, all that kind of stuff. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, and Mitch Trubisky is Mitch. I don't care if he wants me to call him Mitchell or not. He's still Mitch.
It's Mitchell, not Mitch.
Yes. I think Cincinnati has a better defense than Pittsburgh, which is weird to say, and but you don't have to have that much of a better defense to defeat Mitch Trubisky. I'm going with Cincinnati cover.
Yeah, I'm going Cincinnati in this one as well. I think that I listen. It's not to say that there is not a Super Bowl hangover. Those are real. Those happen. We've seen it happen. Joey B don't care. Joey B don't give a boat. I'm going Bengals as well. Jacksonville is at Washington, and the Commanders, bum, 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 are 2.5-point favorites. Jacksonville just needs to be within a field goal. And listen, I hate saying this. I hate picking this, but Duval, Trevor, Sans Herb, and the toxic waste that surrounded him and his coaching staff is going to be better this year. He has got a running back that he played college ball with named ETN, who is going to be back from injury. Jacksonville is not only going to cover up 2.5, Lonzo, the Jaguars are going to win this game outright. Give me the Jags on the road at Washington with a Week 1 dub.
All right, there's a bias and hatred involved for me, especially today, because I'm being forced to wear these stinking orange colors for on the air at least for another 40 minutes. These teams are equally as bad. So when two teams are equally as bad, I go with the better hair. So I'm going with Jacksonville.
Man, taking the Jags. I like it. Both of us have Jacksonville. We have agreed on all 3 NFL picks so far, so it may come down to college football. We will find out. New Orleans is on the road in a Week 1 opening contest at Atlanta. The Falcons, 5.5-point underdogs. New Orleans has to win by 6 or better. Jameis Winston and the Saints, though, can they do it by a touchdown or more?
Well, we've had extensive talks about these two teams on our national podcast, which is Views from Mint Street, latest podcast up now. So make sure you download it to hear what we have to say about the Carolina Panthers. And we go through each team that they play through the year. And as we're talking about each team, we talk about each team. So we talk about how good New Orleans and Atlanta are or are not. So looking at all this, Atlanta's bad. Mariota is their quarterback. When Jameis is healthy, he looked pretty good last year for New Orleans. New Orleans doesn't have their coach, though. I mean, there's a lot of things to factor in here, but how in the world could New Orleans not cover against Atlanta?
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying you have to accept the premise that the Saints are an NFC Super Bowl possibility, not probability, possibility. But Atlanta just ain't it. I mean, Pitts
all right.
really
I got to
good.
interrupt you there. New Orleans is not going to the Super Bowl because of Josh Allen's going to the Super Bowl because Josh Allen is the quarterback of note and the best quarterback in the entire league in the history of man. Josh Allen is not only going to the Super Bowl, Josh Allen is playing Josh Allen in the Super Bowl.
Just split the Bills in half, have them play each other, and give them the trophy. I'm taking the Saints too. I am. I am riding that Jameis took a bit of humble pie in his departure from Tampa. And again, he looked real good until the injury last year. Plus, Chris Olave. I put him on my fantasy team. Lonzo.
That's a good move. That dude catches the ball.
I think that dude's going to have some yardage in this one. We both got the Saints. 4 agreements in the NFL. Let's see if we split up on the last one. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the road. They are at the LA Chargers. Justin Herbert and the boys, 3.5-point favorites in this one, Lonzo. And listen.
All right. Let me take this first.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing. We're hearing about the Chargers a lot, and we should. And Herbert is good. He really is. But the Raiders are getting slighted. They're getting slighted. Suddenly their quarterback is the worst quarterback. And they say this about him every year. And what does he do? He goes out and he produces. Are the Raiders going to win the West? I don't know. Probably not. But they're not going to be in last place. That's going to be Denver. Devontae Adams, I think, is a difference. I really do. So I'm going to go with the Raiders here.
The Raiders. So we do have one game of difference in the National Football League because I'm taking Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I think this team is good, and it has nothing to do with slighting the Raiders and everything to do with crediting the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is better than Derek Carr. That's not saying that Derek Carr is bad. He's inside the top, 8, 9 quarterbacks in the National Football League. But I think Justin Herbert is that dude. So Lonzo goes with Los. Rob goes with Los. We will find out who it is. So here's our picks for the Boo Box Bets punishments. Alabama, minus 20.5. We've both got that cover. I've got Arkansas winning by 9 or better. Zoe says South Carolina's inside of 8.5. I've got the Panthers of Georgia State at home to be within 7.5 of North Carolina. Lonzo says the Tar Heels run them out of the building. Tennessee's minus 6. We both take them to cover up over Pittsburgh, and we both have the Aggies of A&M to do better than 19.5 against Appalachian State in the National Football League. We have both taken Miami at minus 3.5. We have both taken Cincinnati at minus 6.5. We have both taken Jacksonville at plus 2.5. We have both taken the Saints at minus 5.5. We have one split in the NFL. I have got the Los Angeles Chargers minus 3.5. Zoe takes the Raiders inside of a field goal. And that is our Boo Box Bets picks for this weekend, week 2. Who draws the punishment? Find out on Monday, kids.
It's going to be me again.
I don't know, man. The more I look at it, the more I think I might have screwed up with Georgia State. I think I may have just been. I think my heart of, well, they're really good, so maybe don't blame the Gamecocks last week, has talked me into a bad pick there. We'll find out on Monday. Rob Brown, Lonzo, and you on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
All right, time for me to venture into the hallway. As you've noticed, I've only went to the restroom once.
And you ran.
Only went to the restroom once the entire show. And you extra people jumping on here, go away.
You're all welcome here. Neil, of course, buddy. I appreciate you, man. It means the world to us. Thank you very much for coming by. Thank you. James said, I heard Josh Allen's so good he makes every other quarterback look like a backup high schooler. He does. Josh Allen. That Duval needs to be a GIF. Don't make GIFs of me. It won't end up well for anybody. Be right back.
There it again. You know, when I walk into the hallway and it's silent, because I don't know if you knew about this, but radio people are loud. Yeah. Oh, there's a loud person on this side of the building and a loud person on that side of the building.
I'd say there's more over there, right? Like, not all the ORD people are that loud.
Oh, they're not loud at all. Actually, I'd probably be the loudest person over there. I mean, think about it. Well, no, Tara's pretty loud.
Yeah, she is.
She is pretty loud. But she's on vacation. So I hear silence when I walk in the hallway. And so the next step is, because we have one of those things in the restroom where the light is off if no one's in there, I walk in, the light's off. I'm good. So then it's just... No, I feel bad if someone happened to walk around that corner when I'm coming out of the restroom because, you're getting plowed. I mean, it's going to be ugly for you, not for me.
Listen.
There's only one guy in the building. If I ran into it, might be a standstill or I might bounce.
Fat boy?
Yes, just from sheer size because dude is wider than me. He's a big boy. He is. But it might be like King Kong Bundy and Andre the Giant running into each other. And yes, I'm Bundy. Not trying to jinx myself, even through the pain and all this crap that I'm dealing with today, wearing this stuff. I've been fairly flawless running the board. The microphone doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't count. Just like Josh Allen interceptions.
No, just one of them.
I do understand that you'd have to get through the entire show to understand a lot of the inside, because it's not really inside. Majority of people listen for 20 to 25 minutes. Which means all these extra people jumping in just to see me. I don't appreciate it.
They're fans of the great.
And here's what I would appreciate, though. If Rob ever loses, that you will treat him with the same kindness that you've treated me today. There is nothing in his box as bad as this.
Disagree hard.
And it's not even about the color. It's about my disdain for the color. There's nothing in his box that he hates as much as I do wearing this right now.
You literally have pointed out Mad World. I don't think you understand. Because, like,
That's going to be an enjoyable experience for everybody else. So you should be happy.
For the record, this is an enjoyable experience for everybody else.
No, it's
How does
not.
it feel?
It's not. There are people out there legitimately sympathetic for me, and they feel like I betrayed them by doing this, and I get it. Even though I'm paying up on a bet.
Trade them
Yeah.
at 2, Lonzo.
Better watch it. I know where you sit.
So Lonzo and I have our Boo Box Bets picks locked in. Lonzo has locked those picks in while paying off his bet punishment from last week, currently sporting the Clemson orange baseball jersey with a flag hanging on the wall behind him. Go to the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or YouTube and search and subscribe to the Rob Brown
This
Show.
stuff is never going away. Okay, all the screenshots have been taken early on and even now. This stuff is never going away. You're not going to have to deal with what I'm going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I will.
No, you won't.
If I draw that Falcons thing out, it will hurt me as much as what's happening to you hurt
But
you.
it won't mean as much around here as this does.
That's probably fair. That's probably fair.
This means a whole lot more than anything that's in your box.
Can't stand an Atlanta Falcon. Can't stand an Atlanta Falcon.
I have been on the airwaves between here and WORD going on 23 years, and I've been against this team that I'm wearing for all of those 23 years.
Joe says Lonzo looks good today. Hey, look at that. President of the Greenville Triumph, Chris Lewis, has popped in and said, can Lonzo do the CLEMSONTIGERS chant before the show ends? That would be a fantastic way to put a bow on this Rob Brown Show viewing experience.
Well, Chris, I will tell you that because you missed it earlier, you can go back on our Facebook page and see when I actually did that, which I believe was in hour 1 at some point.
It was right out the gate.
Yeah, so I have done it, and
I mean, sarcastically, but done.
I know
nonetheless.
that I know saying I have done it is not proper English, but that's how people who wear these jerseys actually speak. So I'm okay.
If you would like to pick against Lonzo and I, our Pro Pigskin Pick'em is up on the website right now at thefanupstate.com. Thefanupstate.com. You can go there, get yourself locked in, and pick the 15 remaining National Football League games for the weekend. You missed last night's pick.
Yeah, I'm already down 1. I am.
Tried to tell you. I tried to tell you.
Yeah, but, before then, I didn't realize the greatness of Josh Allen, because if I did, I would have thought Josh Allen's on this team. And if Josh Allen's on this team, how can I not go with Josh Allen? But I didn't go with Josh Allen because I didn't know that Josh Allen was on that team.
I told you yesterday. Josh Allen was going to kill it, and he did. Go to thefanupstate.com, thefanupstate.com. Get registered. Pick against me, Lonzo, Mark, and Diesel. If you beat both Lonzo and I this year in overall picks, we'll make them every week. If you beat both Lonzo and I in overall picks, you will get a special shout out on the show. And the number 1 overall picker, if it is not one of the 4 of us, will get an opportunity to come on the air with us for a segment to talk about pretty much whatever you want to talk about. So go to thefanupstate.com, get yourself registered, get your picks for the 15 remaining games in, beat both Lonzo and I, get a shout out on the air, and beat everybody and you get to come on and host a segment with us, to come on the air and chat with us for a few minutes about whatever you want.
I have something heartfelt that I need to throw out there, just in case this person is listening. There's someone on another show on this station who's going to see what I'm doing now, and they're going to think, they're licking their chops. They're going to think, I'm going to do something with this, that I'm going to make Lonzo pay for a very long time. This is a war you don't want. It's a war you should not join.
Preemptive warning.
And it's out there for everybody to hear. Don't do it. Mr. spells his name with a C, because and we know about things getting ugly. It will definitely get ugly.
Oh, man. TheFanUpstate.com to get your NFL picks locked in, should you choose to do so. Speaking of the National Football League, how about this? Lamar Jackson has decided to turn down the Baltimore Ravens' final offer. He will make $23 million this season on the last year of his contract. Second to last year of his contract. Next year, on the last year of his contract, he is likely to be franchise tagged, So 2 more years in Baltimore, it looks like, for Lamar, unless a deal gets done next year. But he has decided to turn down the offer, the final offer from the Baltimore Ravens.
Would you have taken the money?
No, and here's why. Deshaun's deal. He will get a similar deal. Not quite as much.
Yeah, but
he'll get a similar deal.
But Lamar, being Lamar, he's more susceptible to injury than a lot of other quarterbacks may be because of how he plays. And so it's a bigger risk for him.
I agree that it is a risk. Very, very rarely will you find me getting upset with somebody betting on themselves. That's what Lamar's doing here, right? He's betting on himself. If Lamar's bet does not pay off, it's going to cost him tens of millions of dollars. If it does pay off, it will earn him potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. So, yeah, it's a big swing. I am interested. Lamar has decided to bet on himself. He will not accept the final offer from the Baltimore Ravens. Will play this year under his current salary, $23 million. The Ravens will likely use the franchise tag on him the year after that, and then it'll be time for a new deal. Texter says, Lonzo, you have never been more dead sexy. Lonzo's just staring at the wall right now.
I'm always dead sexy. That's
yeah,
the
but he
part.
said you've never been more dead sexy. He said your dead sexy has been elevated.
Yeah, but if you say that, that means you think I'm sexy all the time.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame you.
Tiger Power Rachel texts into the show. She says, Lonzo, that orange looks good on you. You should wear it every Friday. Once again, blank stare.
Once you pull it out of the box, it's done. It's done.
Correct.
It's no longer if I pull it out again out of the box, then we've got a problem.
No, you won't. Unless somebody else adds it, but my handwriting's the only one in there.
Okay, so
and by the way, should I lose, all of the slips for mine, you will handwrite so that you'll know that there's no fraud punishments in there.
By the way, I trust you. You can write your own punishments. I don't care, because here's how this works. I'm never going to win, so it's not going to matter. I'm going to lose every single week. And all the joy and elation that's felt throughout the upstate of South Carolina for the last 3 hours will get to happen again next week.
I don't love my picks for this week.
It won't have the same impact, though.
I don't love my picks for this week, to be honest. The more I look at them, the more like I might have screwed myself up here.
You may say, or some may say, that I picked the worst one, the very first one.
I would not say that.
The most impactful for the upstate of South Carolina.
I would say. Joey has texted in the show. He said, I'm with you, Rob. I'd rather wear Gamecocks gear than ever deal with a Falcons fan in any way. Hashtag all in. Hashtag keep pounding. See,
I don't think that there are any NFL fans that are as obnoxious as certain college fans. I just don't. No, not nearly as bad as Clemson fans.
Just are. JT and Greer says, Lonzo, I feel bad for you having to wear that puke orange.
Puke is a thing I've had to hold back for a while now.
All right, kids. We have given you our college and NFL picks. We do have your available NFL picks at thefanupstate.com on the Pro Pigskin Pick'em. And it's just about time. Keep in mind, tonight, Burns Rebels football is right here on the Fan Upstate. We'll go pregame at 7. We'll go kickoff at 7:30. I will be on the call alongside Sam Clark and Lane Fowler, my sideline reporter and color commenter.
Come on, you got to eat some grass tonight. You got to do it. It's got to be a new tradition. You walk the field before every game.
I do.
You got to do something else. There's got to be something else.
We are 3-0, dude. I'm not changing a damn thing.
Okay, all right. So you believe in that stuff. I just want people to go, oh, there's Rob. That's the guy who eats
I'm
grass.
not superstitious.
Okay.
I am a little stitious.
Okay, just
I'm
a
not
little.
I'm not changing anything. Now, if they drop tonight, I will look to add some more traditions for next week and find the one that works. So we'll see. Burns Rebels football, 7 o'clock pregame, 7:30 kickoff. I'll be on the call with Lane Fowler and Sam Clark. Look forward to seeing you guys there tonight. Sunday, you will get the opportunity to listen to that Raiders-Chargers game, and then make sure you like and subscribe and follow the Views from Mint Street podcast, because after the Panthers game on Sunday, Lonzo and I will put down our reaction to the game, our quick reaction to the game, and that podcast episode will drop. Speaking of, while we were talking just a minute ago, I got the notification that the most recent episode of Views from Mint Street has gone live. You can subscribe on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Google Play, on Apple iTunes, or on the Odyssey app. And when a new episode drops, get that push notification so you can listen to the most recent and up-to-date Panthers talk in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Panthers fan, it is for you. If you're a fan of Lorenzo Reitzel, it is for you. Tell your family, tell your friends, if they're a Panthers fan, they need to be listening to the Views from Mint Street podcast, available now where major podcasts are found.
All right, I have breaking news.
Hit me.
According to a streamer, I can't wait to see Brown in Falcons jersey. I believe that's your mom.
Ugh.
I believe that's your mom.
Ugh. That is my, that's my mother saying that.
Yes.
Noted lifelong Saints fan Rhonda Brown saying that.
Yes.
You think it's not going to be worse for me?
I think she's trying to make me feel
You
better.
have upset the entire upstate. I have to upset my mother and family. Which one's worse? Come on, man. Come on.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
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 Stop it, Tim. When you think the screenshots are over,
Oh, no.
Tim Holcomb just doesn't realize what he's dealing with.
Anyway, see you guys Saturday for... All right.
That's a different Tim, but you know, I did. But
no. Oh, no, he's not. He doesn't sit on that show, does he?
he has in the
should.
in the
That's what I
past.
thought.
He has, but I'm not. You know, I'm not going to make someone pay on another show. I'm not going to do that. There are other ways.
Fair enough. Let's take a break. We come back. We
You know,
will wrap up.
You know the best way. My BO is all over your shirt. That's how I made you pay. And this stank don't go away.
Gross. Let's take a break. When we come back, we wrap up this bad boy. Little Twitter trending topics on the way out the door. Robin, Lonzo, and you. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Be right back, String. Hang on. I saw the sign. Opened my eyes, I saw the sign. Big noon kickoff.
Did you see what all happened with UFC yesterday?
Yeah, the press conference was a boat show.
Well, he had to get rid of the press conference because of the fight in the back. Which fight do you think is better? The fight in the back with AEW or the fight in the back with UFC?
UFC. Man, look, his punk can't fight.
Well, we know that.
Fight.
We already know that. That's a good point.
Fight, or did Punk just get his ass kicked?
No, Ace Steel did it. You know there's a dog involved, too.
Yeah, Larry.
Yeah, they took Larry out of there.
My
Supposedly, Omega took Larry out of there so he'd be out of the middle of it.
The fan theory going on right now that I have elected to believe with no reasonable evidence to do so is that is that Omega picked up Larry in the midst of the commotion to get him out of there. Larry panicked and bit Omega, but because of rules where if a dog bites somebody, you may have to put the dog down, Larry and Omega, or Ace and Omega, just decided to claim that Larry bit Omega to save Larry.
The Ace
I like to
bit,
believe
yeah.
that theory.
Yeah, I think it's a great theory. Why is Punk have his dog there? Is that for protection?
he brings his dog to
No, that's for protection. He knows nobody likes him backstage, so he thinks the dog's a German Shepherd, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the dog's a German Shepherd. It's a deterrent in case people want to punch him in the face, which most people do. Drink it in, man,
Drink it in, man!
while you have the opportunity.
If you have not visited yet, you have about 6 more minutes because I suspect Lonzo's going to hit the end broadcast button the moment the final bumper music rolls.
Lorenzo ain't losing again.
I like it. I like it. He's bringing some grind to the Boo Box bets now. Don't want to have to go through this again. Although it's out of the Boo Box. This is not what. Well, I was gonna ask what would you have rather done, this or anything else in the box, and I think there's only one other punishment in the box that you think is as bad as this one.
Oh, there are a couple, but only one you know of. I'm not gonna let you know.
Fair enough. If you have not seen it yet and you would like to see Lonzo adorned in Clemson orange and backdropped by a Clemson-themed American flag, now's your opportunity to go to Facebook.com/TheFanUpstate, Twitter.com/TheFanUpstate, or search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show on YouTube.
You know, I'm letting this song go because it has a Creed feel to it, and I got some Creed anger in me right now.
Lonzo breaking out the early 2000s emo feels right now. Remember, go to our website at thefanupstate.com. Get your pro pigskin picks in. Beat both Lonzo and I. Get a special shout out on the air. Beat everybody else in the picks and get to come on and host a segment with me and Lonzo via the stream or on the phone. Your call.
James on the stream says, I'd imagine Rob throwing a chair at the guy trying to hand him a Falcons shirt.
The worst part is I don't know. I know one Falcons fan in the upstate, and it's a woman, and I'm not going to fit into her gear.
Well,
which means I would have to spend money on a cheap Falcons T-shirt.
Yeah, there's some Falcons folks out there.
You know the get out for me would be is go find a vintage Atlanta Falcons Deion Sanders shirt.
All right, so I'd be willing to find on the clearance rack of something Falcons to buy for you just so you would have to wear it. I'm willing to put my money out there for that.
I feel dirty considering it. All right? Just considering it, I feel dirty.
You will not take nearly as much ridicule as I have this fine day, which is just like 4 minutes away. Yeah, I know I got to wear it in there, but how many people come and talk to me? I'm good. This is it. I mean, all the screenshots, everything that I've had to endure.
So don't push send on this draft of dear all engineers and management. I have an emergency in the office. Come see me.
I'll go for it. Go for it. One of them's already seen me, so he's not going to, I mean, you know.
True enough. True enough.
And now, the Rob Brown Show presents Twitter Trending Topics.
All right, time for Twitter trending topics where I tell Rob what's trending.
He forgot my
And
name for a second.
he tells everybody why it's trending. The first thing that's trending is Josh Allen. I'm just going to Josh Allen till the end of the show. Josh Allen.
If you say it four times, Lonzo, you say it the number of times he threw touchdown passes last night. If you say it 5 times, you say it the number of touchdowns that he was responsible for last night.
All right, you just want me to say it less, like Josh Allen, the amount of interceptions he threw yesterday
No, that's just
that
Josh
people
Allen.
are completely ignoring. All right, the first thing that's trending is Cam Newton.
Listen, I am in Team Newton. I like Cam Newton. I'm a fan of Cam Newton, but y'all got to let it go. He couldn't get it done in New England, and I got question marks about his.
That's not why he's trending.
Why is he trending?
He's trending because all the things that Josh Allen does and gets praised for, Cam Newton already did and got criticized for. That's why Cam Newton is trending.
Cam Newton's second most career rush yards by a quarterback, by the way. Only Michael Vick beat him. More than Randall Cunningham, more than Russ, more than Steve Young, more than Fran Tarkenton, more than Lamar Jackson.
All right, the next thing that's trending is Disney Day.
Disney Day.
That's today. It's the 9th.
Well, I assume that's why it's trending.
A bunch of things dropped today, including Thor: Love and Thunder and a bunch of things like that. They're all on stream, and plus
I
they have.
enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
It was all right. Plus they have a ton of announcements and things that are going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, and not to sell for them, but I think you can sign up for Disney Plus for the first month for like $1.99 today.
Yeah.
So even if you only want to grab it to watch through and binge all of the Marvel TV shows that have gone up, it's worth. If you're going to do it, it's worth it right now.
All right, and the last thing that's trending, other than me, and I'm so glad it won't be pretty soon, is Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish did an interview where he was asked about Punk. Now, Bobby Fish is not being retained by All Elite Wrestling, in which he called Phil Brooks by name a number of choice words and FCC violations. And as somebody who has been off the Punk bandwagon for about, 5 days now, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining. It is also NSFW, not safe for work, much like playing against Josh Allen.
Oh, wait, that's what that means. Okay, because I wanted to ask someone what that meant, but I was afraid
Yeah,
it
not
would be
safe for work.
Okay, all right.
NSFW means don't click this on the work computer. Because if somebody sees it over your shoulder, you're going to get in trouble. Anyway, there you go. That's the show. That's the week, ladies and gentlemen. The next time that we
Thank God
join
it's
you,
over.
The next time that we join you, we will find out who is going to eat the next punishment from the Boo Box Bets. We have got all of our 10 picks in. I will post them on Twitter later. We do not play the Monday Night Football this week in that, so we will know Monday morning who gets the next punishment. Jim Rome's got you up next in the jungle. Mark, Ryan, and Diesel take you offsides at 3. Have a great football weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Week 2 of college. Week 1 of the NFL. We'll break it all down on Monday. You look good, Lonzo.
Josh Allen.
Orange looks good on you.
Josh Allen.
This stream will be live in perpetuity forever on the internet.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. Have a great day. Don't drink.
Wait. Baker! There, I feel better now.
Views from Mint Street available Monday morning with our reaction to the game. Have a great one. See you back here Monday on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Later, brother.
Bye, stream.
Appreciate you
Good.
guys.
Good. Bye, stream. Go away.
I could leave it up for like 6 more minutes.
I can hit it in broadcast.